Knicks family, what's poppin'? It is your boy. I just watched the Knicks go down to the New Orleans Pelicans just like you did. And they hit a 5-game losing skid. And we'll see how long this one goes, ladies and gentlemen. What can we say? What can we say, man? Let's get this thing popping.
That's the G.
And the Knicks were back home at the Garden after losing out on the West Coast. They lost all 4 games on the West Coast, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, the Pelicans start right off knocking down shots. They jump out to a 9-5 lead right off the bat. You see Taj Gibson off the pass from Elfrid Payton. Put one home in the paint. Pelicans up 12-7. That guy right there, it's a turnover there, but we'll talk about him a little bit later. As you see, Bobby Portis get the dunk from the assist from Elfrid Payton. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you know who that guy is. Oh, and he gives it to that guy. Bang. Knocks it down. Number 14, Brandon Ingram. He was hot all night long. That kid, I like him. Comes from my in-laws' hometown, Brandon Ingram does. Kinston, North Carolina. As you see, the Knicks go up 21-18, and you thought this was going to be a good, interesting game. It was interesting. You know what I'm saying? It was okay. Derek Favors, he puts in 2 points. It's only 2 points of the game. Elfrid Payton picks up a steal, finds Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson had maybe his best game as a Knick tonight. He had 19 points, ladies and gentlemen. Taj Gibson had 19 points and 8 rebounds on the night. RJ Barrett, he gets in the lane. He goes up, followed up by Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson had 12 points tonight. Only 4 rebounds, man. We need Mitchell Robinson to be better on the boards as Brandon Ingram knocks down a 3. The Pelicans tonight, ladies and gentlemen, shot 47.4% from the three-point line. Frank Ntilikina to Mitchell Robinson. You know, the Frankie and Mitch connection. It's nice. You love it. Kevin Knox, he hits 2 of his 5 points on the night. One of the things, man, with Kevin Knox's jump shot, if you watch, he fades his shoulders back. He's not going straight up and down. He fades his shoulders back. He's going to have to get that fixed, in my opinion. As you see, the Pelicans slam one home, and then Mitch Robinson slams one home to end the quarter. Kevin Knox goes to the basket, but not hard enough as he gets that one blocked. Pelicans on the break, and here we go. Wide open 3-point shot. Knocked down. The Pelicans are up 38-34. Mitch Robinson finds Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina takes it into the lane. Frank Ntilikina has been penetrating much better lately. We got to give him that. Wayne Ellington to Kevin Knox. Well, to Dot, then to Kevin Knox in the corner. And you thought maybe Kevin Knox was going to have one tonight. He knocked down that 3, 39-38. Knicks are up. But then here you go. Lonzo Ball to the cup on the fast break. And the Pelicans, you know, they move the ball well. They play with speed. They pass the ball well. They're up 40-39 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Knocked down another open 3, wide open 3. The defense not looking good there. Pelicans get a steal on the way up the floor and pull back to the basket. Open 3, bang, as Nickeil Alexander-Walker knocks down the 3. He had 9 points on the night. Elfrid Payton advances the ball. The Knicks down 53-47. They were down 10 at one point. Reggie Bullock, he misses the 3. Taj Gibson, he was playing big boy games tonight. He follows it up. Again, 19 points, 8 rebounds for Taj Gibson. Lonzo Ball, people talked about his jump shot. Well, he was knocking it down tonight. Lonzo Ball had 15 points. He was 6 for 14 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. Lonzo Ball, 3 for 7 from 3. How often do you hear that? Bobby Portis, he lays one in, 56-51, but then we turn right back around and almost let a fast break happen because these guys play fast and they get up the floor. Wish we knew how to play that way. RJ Barrett, he goes to the lane. He lays it in. RJ Barrett on the night had 16 points. Balanced scoring from the Knicks, just not enough scoring from the Knicks. Brandon Ingram, and he's going to bring that one home. That kid can ball. He looks like somebody from the Goody Mob, if you guys remember the Goody Mob, but he can ball, ladies and gentlemen. That's all to it. I like Brandon Ingram. He's going to knock down another one from 3. Bang. Brandon Ingram had 28 points on the night. Give it up for Brandon Ingram. He also had 9 assists. Elfrid Payton, he goes to the cup. He lays it in. The Knicks give up 60-plus points again for I don't know how many times, how many games in a row they've given up 60-plus points at the half. 67 points to be exact, as Brandon Ingram was going to knock this one down. Bam, 67-61. The Knicks give up 67 points at the half. The Pelicans shot 55.8% from the field on the Knicks. R.J. Barrett in the third quarter gets a steal. He dunks it home. 67-65, and it's like, okay, we're right here. Right here. 69-68. Then you know what he can do. J.J. Redick, he's going to knock those down if you give them to him. Lonzo Ball, he knocks down. He misses it. My bad. I thought he was going to knock it down. Instead, Jackson Hayes gets the rebound. It's foul. But damn, Jackson Hayes had 18 points, 10 rebounds on the night. Bobby Portis, he makes the layup going to the basket. Bobby Portis on the night, he had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Bobby Portis. Reggie Bullock gets a steal, lays it in. 74-72. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. The Knicks are right here. The game is there. Brandon Ingram, he comes up, finds Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball to Jackson Hayes for the dunk. I'm telling you, right now, this team, they're young. The New Orleans Pelicans, they're young. They have some talent. They got some players. 81-74, New Orleans is up. Brandon Ingram puts moves on everybody on the whole Knicks squad. And he goes in, he lays it in. On the whole squad, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks down the floor, look slow, playing slow. Elfrid Payton, he pulls it up, knocks it down. Elfrid Payton on the night had 15 points, 7 assists. He also had 6 rebounds. And then, of course, the Pelicans, Jahlil Okafor gets a dunk, 87-76. Here you go, Frank Ntilikina. Bam! Gets a dunk. You get excited and you love it when Frank gets one of those type of dunks, man. For so many years, for so much time, as Mitch Robinson throws one home, for so much time, everybody complained about Frank Ntilikina not having this, not having that. They need to trade him right away and all this kind of stuff. Finally, he's starting to play and people have kind of quelled the talk. Kind of quelled it because they like what they see from him now. And Jahlil Okafor, all over Mitchell Robinson. That's a tough one, Mitch. But hey, you were there. You tried to block it. I give it to you. Got banged on, though. I give you your respect for that one. It happens. Happens in the NBA. The Pelicans up 98-89. Brandon Ingram goes to the basket. Finds Jackson Hayes for the dunk. And once again, a team is killing us in the paint, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you what. Mitchell Robinson, I love that you can block shots, and we should all love that he can block shots. But there's more to defending the paint than blocking shots. Damian Dotson, he gets into the paint. He finds Elfrid Payton for the lay-in. Lonzo Ball to Brandon Ingram, kicks it back out. I don't even know who that guy is. Who was that? Who was that? That was Josh Hart. He knocks it down. He had 13 points, 10 rebounds. To the cup, Josh Hart. Again, he had 13 points, 10 rebounds. The Knicks now give it up. They're just not playing well. It's a 16-point lead. Now it's a 108-94, 14-point lead with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And here, the game really gets out of hand. Brandon Ingram, he knocks it down from 3. It's a 17-point lead. And the Knicks would never recover, ladies and gentlemen. They just wouldn't recover. They're playing basketball, but they wouldn't recover as Elfrid Payton goes to the basket and brings one home. Little something to get excited over, but they couldn't recover. Down 13 with 4 minutes left. Brandon Ingram against Kevin Knox, pretty much not a matchup. Goes right to the cup, lays it in. Again, Brandon Ingram had 28 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds on the night. Brandon Ingram shot 11 for 18 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3. 113-100, 3 minutes left in the game. Brandon Ingram, one more time, knocks it down. Bang. That kid, man, Goody Mob. Looks like he's from the Goody Mob to me. Straight to the cup. Lonzo Ball. Swiss cheese defense by the Knicks. If your man gets beat, you need somebody to help. And guess what? There was no help as the Knicks dropped one, or dropped their fifth in a row, ladies and gentlemen, to the New Orleans Pelicans. They dropped their fifth in a row. And listen, there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of questions. Now's about the time, once the Knicks start, everyone was loving Mike Miller. Now we're going to start hearing a lot of hate from Mike Miller. We're going to hear it. It's coming. All right. We already know what we're going to hear on the night. We're going to hear, people being upset at Mike Miller. We're going to hear about the vets playing. We're going to hear about Kevin Knox. We're going to hear about all of that. You all know how the story goes. The bottom line is the Knicks just aren't very good. They're just not very good. We all thought that they had a lot of depth to start this season. With them supposedly having so much depth, if you don't have Marcus Morris and you don't have Julius Randle, you're supposed to still be able to, play some basketball and win some games or something. Win a couple. And I know they've played some good teams, right? They played the Clippers. They played the Lakers. They played the Utah Jazz, right? So they played some good teams. What are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Before I get to the guys that's in the video chat, before I take some phone calls from you, let's take a look at some of the numbers behind the game. Let's look at some of these charts over here. The Pelicans won this game 123-111. Knicks, they did win the rebounding battle, 46-43. The Knicks had 26 assists tonight, but the Pelicans had 35 assists. 35 assists. 13 steals for the Knicks, 8 for the Pelicans. 6 blocks for the Pelicans, 1 block for the Knicks. And that block was by Taj Gibson. 13 turnovers for the Knicks, only 13 turnovers for the Knicks, 19 for the New Orleans Pelicans. But they play a fast, up-tempo style of game. Obviously, you don't want turnovers, but you can expect that when you have a young team, right? They're going to turn the ball over some if you're playing a fast, up-tempo style. The Pelicans shot 55.8% from the field. The Knicks shot 46% from the field. The Pelicans, they shot 47.4% from three. They were knocking down threes all over the place. All right, Josh Hart, he hit 7 threes. He shot 7 threes. He hit 3 of them. Brandon Ingram shot 9 threes. He hit 5 of them. Lonzo Ball was 3 for 7. J.J. Redick was 2 for 4. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was 3 for 7. Etuan Moore was 1 for 2. Nicola Melli was 1 for 2. The Knicks shot 18.5% from 3. Reggie Bullock was 2 for 3. Bobby Portis 0 for 2. R.J. Barrett was 1 for 4. Elfrid Payton 0 for 3. Frank Ntilikina 0 for 1. Kevin Knox was 1 for 4. Damian Dotson 1 for 2. Wayne Ellington 0 for 2. Alonzo Trier 0 for 2. Kadeem Allen 0 for 1. The Knicks shot putridly, if I can say that, from 3. Pelicans were 18 for 38. The Knicks made 70% of their free throws. The New Orleans Pelicans made 52.9% of their free throws. Points in the paint, the Pelicans had 54 points in the paint. The Knicks had 66. 66 points in the paint. But they couldn't stop the Pelicans from scoring in the paint. Let's put it like this. Even though the Knicks scored 66 points in the paint, the Pelicans scored 54. That's a lot. That's a lot of points in the paint still. Second chance points, the Knicks had 12. The Pelicans had 9. Fast break points, the Knicks had 17. The Pelicans had 12. Leaders of the game, Taj Gibson for the Knicks had 19. Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans had 28. Elfrid Payton had 7 assists for the Knicks. Lonzo Ball 11. Taj Gibson 1 block. Jackson Hayes for the Pelicans had 2 blocks. R.J. Barrett had 9 rebounds. And Josh Hart had 10 rebounds for the Pelicans. We look at starters versus the bench. The Knicks starters outscored the Pelicans starters 78-70. It was the bench that didn't come up big for the Knicks. The Knicks starters grabbed 30 rebounds, had 15 assists, had 10 steals. They shot 51.6% from the field, but only 20% from 3. The Knicks bench only scored 33 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists. They only shot 36.8% from the field. 16.7% from three. All right, the players of the game for either team are not listed. So we don't have to worry about the players of the game. All right, so we don't have to worry about that. There ain't no player of the game for the Knicks anyway, in the way I see it. Looking at the rest of the box score, let me run this down for you. Josh Hart had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Brandon Ingram, as I said a couple of times, 28 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Derek Favors, 2 points, 6 rebounds. Lonzo Ball, 15 points and 11 assists. J.J. Redick, 12 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Jackson Hayes, he had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 9 points, 1 rebound. Etuan Moore had 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jahlil Okafor had 7 points. Jahlil Okafor had 8 points. Nicolo Melli had 7 points. For the Knicks, Reggie Bullock had 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Bobby Portis had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Taj Gibson had 19 points, 8 rebounds. R.J. Barrett had 16 points and 9 rebounds. He also had 2 assists, 2 steals. Elfrid Payton had 15 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. Frank Ntilikina had 7 points, 4 assists. He only played 15 minutes. Kevin Knox played 16 minutes. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Mitchell Robinson had 12 points, 4 rebounds. No block shots on the night for Mitchell Robinson. And then Damian Dotson had 7 points. Kadeem Allen had 2 points. That's the rundown for the Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as they lose their 5th game in a row. They hit a 5-game skid. And, yeah, that's about what it is tonight, folks. Listen, the schedule's not going to get too much easier for the Knicks. They're going to have a tough schedule coming up. We'll look at it. Let's talk to some of these guys that's here in the chat, man. Nate, I'm going to start with you. What's going on, man? What's going on, Nate?
What's up, dude?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. You said that you hit the nail right on the head, man. We just aren't good, and the reality is that we might not be good for a couple more years, possibly. I mean, there's just a lot of influx going on, a lot of issues. You can't give up 60 to 70 points in a half and expect to win a game. Just period.
Gave up 67 points in the half, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We gave 70 to freaking the Lakers, right? No. Or was that game where we were up by was it the Lakers or who was it against?
The Clippers. We gave up 70-something points to the Clippers in the half. Then we gave up 60-something points.
Yeah, and then we gave 70,
Yeah, then we gave up 60-something points to the Lakers in the half.
Yeah, our defense has been putrid, man. It's been abysmal. Man, honestly, there's no juice in this team. There's no energy. There's no desire. I think the honeymoon phase with Mike Miller, I think, is over in a sense. I think that the players have resorted back to playing bad and playing just uninterested in some aspects. It seems like if there's players that play hard, it's always the same players, and everybody else just kind of this is there. They just don't seem to get up for these games. And you can just see it in their body language, the way they play, the pace they play, the enthusiasm. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, these are professional players. I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, as Knicks fans, I don't think we expected to suck again this bad this year, especially with the players we brought in and the depth we talked about and everything. But it is what it is, it's not going to get any better. Yeah, man. I'm at a loss.
I mean, well, we clearly did not expect to be,
no, we didn't expect to be like this. Bad. I mean, we were making the playoffs, but
yeah, what we're gonna say. We clearly did not expect to be like this. Everything that we were told was that the Knicks were going to be a team that plays hard every night. Comes out and, gives it their all, comes out and tries to fight every night, is going to be competitive every night. And clearly we're not that. Clearly we're not that. As far as Mike Miller, it's just, any interim coach is going to be in a tough situation, man, because you're dealing with all the stuff left over from before. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough situation for any interim head coach. And then, when you're down, right now you're down two of your top players. It makes it even more difficult when you don't have the type of bench that you thought you were going to have. You know what I'm saying?
For me, Sim, it's the energy, man. I mean, they don't play with like intensity. They don't play with like desire at times. I mean, it's like they're just going through the motions. I mean, I don't know. I watch a lot of basketball, man, and I see teams play hard and, pardon my language, but give a damn. I don't see that with the Knicks, man. Maybe there are a few players I can say honestly give it all they can when they get on the floor, but for the most part, I don't know, man. I just see players collecting a paycheck, man, and that really upsets me because
the only thing I'm going to say to that, you're still playing on the floor, even though like tonight you have Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock is out there, Bobby Portis, but you're still playing with a lot of young players, and with a lot of young players, that's going to be up and down. It's going to be up and down. I don't care how you put it or what you say. We've seen it from every single young player, some more than others, of course, but we've seen it from every single young player that it's going to be up and down as far as the energy that they bring on the floor. That's the problem when you have a young team. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be up and down.
But shouldn't young players like not have problems? I mean, with juice and energy and enthusiasm.
Realistically, I'm telling you, as someone who played basketball, realistic. I mean, in theory, you expect that, right? In theory, you say that you expect that, right? That's in theory, but realistically, when you get on the court, young players don't know how to control that yet. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some of your players that you have that it's just in them to bring it like that all the time. That's gonna be that way, right? But then when it's gonna be, but most of your players are gonna they have to learn it. They have to learn it. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be nights, especially when it's really when they're young guys. It's gonna be they're on the road. And then they come home, and then they're on the road, then they come home, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to be tired, you know what I'm saying? And you got to figure out, they got to figure out how do I get myself up? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been to work, Nate? And you just had a day you like, man, freak this. I'm chilling right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I value work ethic a lot. My parents were very hard workers.
I get that. But what I'm saying, have you ever had those days though?
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
right.
Have you ever? I try to work hard as much as I can.
I mean, I don't know what sport you play, but have you ever whatever sport that you like? Have you ever been on the court and like, I really don't have that feeling today? And even though they get paid, they're still human beings. You know what I'm saying? They're still human beings. So, what I
would say as I got older, I was probably more like that because, my body's not there, just can't do as much as I want. But when I was younger, I don't know. I like
and that's where the hope that, guys like Reggie Bullock, them guys coming in, we're going to be able to show them how to bring it every night. Sure, that was the hope, how to show them young guys how to bring it every night. Who knows?
It's just hard because you can't. Who knows
what? Who knows?
Coach that. That's on the players, and they have to figure it out. That's nothing a coach can do.
No, it's not. It's on the players. The players have to figure it out. The players have to, hold each other accountable. That's one of the most important things ever. You know what I'm saying? Is for the players to hold themselves accountable. You can't always have the coach holding the players accountable. The players have to hold themselves accountable. But when the players don't hold themselves accountable, guess who has to hold the players accountable? Has to be the coach. Has to be the coach. If the players don't hold themselves accountable, then the coach has to hold them accountable. So while we can say it's not always on the coach, when it boils down to it, It's on the
When you got a young
coach.
team, it's going to be on the coach.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, you can't expect anything from this team because everything is so up and down all over the place. You know, we don't know, nobody knows what's going to happen to the coach, to the coach. Nobody knows, what's going to happen with the front office, and that's going to affect at least some of the young players. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect them a little bit on just the mental part to the game, especially the young players. Like I'll say this: Frank Ntilikina is tough, right? He's tough mentally to still be able to, because he's one of the guys that does bring fire when he comes to the game every single night. That's just in his nature.
He's
right?
playing for his job, man.
He brings it every single night. And he's gone through how many coaches already?
3.
His third coach already. How many different players has Frank Ntilikina played with already?
A lot.
Isn't that something? Right? And whether or not, and I hate to bring up old dirt, but I'm about to, okay? I'm about to. Whether or not people believe that KP wanted out or not, he was right to want out. How many coaches did KP have? How many coaches did he have? He came in with who? Who was his coach when he came in? Derek Fisher? When he was drafted? Then Jeff Hornacek? Then
Fizdale?
Was there an intern before Fizdale? Maybe not. Jeff Hornacek, Fizdale. I mean, he had 3 coaches. He was here for 3 seasons, had 3 coaches.
Yeah. That takes a lot out of a young player because they get frustrated because they have to learn a new system, learn new values and everything. It gets old after a while.
Right. So, whether or not you believe he wanted out, if he wanted out, he had the right to. He had the right to. He had the right to want out.
Do you think those trade rumor talks have really affected Knox? Because remember, Knox said he was going to get off social media. He was going to ban himself from social media, and I wonder it's because of maybe the whole talk about him not playing well, looking like a bust.
I think it's this. This is what I think. And it's it's with Kevin Knox and other players that come into the league too. I think Kevin Knox has lost his confidence as a basketball player. He needs to go to the G League, figure himself out, look at himself in the mirror, figure himself out, figure out, okay, what am I not doing? Just go to the G League, and if he can find a way to, he doesn't even have to dominate, but just be there, playing hard, getting buckets, doing things, and rediscover himself. I think he needs that, because this is where I think, and this is one of the reasons with any player that's coming into the NBA, right? You ever heard Mike Tyson say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth? I'm pretty sure you heard that quote, right? That's what it's like for these guys coming into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looks at all these draft picks and says, this guy's going to be this guy's going to be that. And time again, you see these top players that don't end up being what you think that they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because once you step foot in the NBA, it's different. And you don't know. That's the one thing that's hard to measure, is the guy's mind and their heart, right? You can do all these other measurements, but you can't measure this and you can't measure that. You know what I'm saying? So once they get in the NBA and they get hit by a 35-year-old man that's been lifting weights for their entire life, right? And they got 35-year-old man strength. Once they get touched, you don't know where their mentality goes. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea where it goes. And that's not something you can measure. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you the perfect example. The perfect example. I don't know how many of you guys are boxing fans out there, right? But you remember Roy Jones Jr. You remember Roy Jones Jr., Nate? Right? Like Roy Jones Jr. was a bad dude. He was a bad dude for a while. And he fought, I think it was Anthony Tarver. and he got knocked out. Now, Roy Jones Jr. was the guy that, no, Montel Griffin, I think. Was it? Who? No. Montel Griffin got disqualified. Roy Jones got disqualified. He got knocked out, I think, by Anthony Tarver. I think it was. I don't know. Right? But I think he got knocked out by Anthony Tarver. But anyway, Roy Jones Jr., he was a bad dude. He was a bad dude, right? Knock out everybody. No one could touch him. He play a semi-professional basketball game before a fight and all of that. And then he fought Anthony Tarver. Anthony Tarver, bang. Down goes Roy Jones Jr. After that, he wasn't the same. He lost his confidence as a fighter. Then he was getting knocked out every other fight. Right? Because he got hit that one time and he felt it. That's what it's like, and I feel like that's what it's like for Kevin Knox this year. You know what I'm saying? Last year, was his first season, and I feel like, coming into this season, you had, of course, you get, Julius Randle and Marcus Morris and those things, and he felt something different, right? Got hit with this manpower. Not just in practice, but in the games too. And his confidence went away. His confidence as a player went away. Now you got to go rebuild it. See, the thing with Roy Jones, he was towards the end of his career. You're not rebuilding the confidence. He tried. He wasn't rebuilding it. He got hit that one time. He didn't want to get touched again.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I think, it's like that with some players in the NBA, because you don't know, once they really get hit like that, you don't know, where their mental is going to be. Once they feel the strength of a grown man banging and all that kind of stuff, you don't know where their mental is going to be. So it's different. It's different. And I think he's got to go down to the G League, you know what I'm saying, play some ball down there in the G League. Some of those guys are, 22, 23, 24 years old, just hoop with them, play with them, hoop with them. And then, when if you're low players or whatever it is, or you're going out on the road, you bring them up, something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think he probably would benefit from doing that.
I think that's where, I think that's where it needs to be. I don't know. And then, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. The rest of the guys that's on the team, who knows where it's going to go? Frank Ntilikina, I think he needs to be playing some more minutes. He's playing well. The one thing I will say is, some players, and I think Frank Ntilikina is probably one of them, at a certain point you get diminishing returns. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to expect that he's going to be hot all the time. So, you play him if he's hot. You let him go a little bit. You might pull him out when he's still hot. Because that's something that I do with players. So I'm gonna come to Guillermo in a second. That's something that I do with players. One thing that I do with players, to try to help them build their confidence, right, is put them out there and let them play. Especially if it's a player that has a long time is having trouble developing, is doing certain things, not getting that much playing time. Put them out there and let them play. And they'll be doing good. Grab a couple of rebounds, maybe hit a bucket or something like that. Then I pull them out the game, right? Pull them out the game on a high note instead of a low note. That's what I try to do. So, who knows? We'll see. What I mean? We'll see. We'll see. Let me get to Guillermo. And Nate, I see, I don't know what you were doing, Nate. I seen you smell your fingers. I hope that they didn't smell bad. I don't know what you was doing, man.
Looking at his feet, he be naked in the chat.
Hey, Guillermo, what's going on, man?
Oh, yo, Nate, come on, bro. Anyway,
I don't know what he did. I see, he tried to do it on the sly, on the slick. I seen him. See, you can't do stuff like that, Nate, because I'm gonna call you out on it. Don't do stuff like that.
Were in a bowl of potpourri, man. Please let have been a anyhow. Yo, Lord, now you just gave me a bad image. Anyway, all right, yo, Knicks lost tonight. All right, yo, so, look, I mean, people complaining and stuff. Let me not say complain, but people are down on the Knicks, right? And this is the stuff that we should have been doing last year. You play the young kids, you give them the experience. You know, pressure bust pipes, right? And you're seeing some guys step up. Look, Frank is being a lot more aggressive. People complain about Frank, and I'll give it to Frank. That's a positive. This guy is being a lot more aggressive. Some shots are full and some shots are not, but he's being aggressive, getting into the paint, pushing the ball, pushing the tempo, creating that triple under paint. Hey, if I got the layup, do I got Mitch? Do I got the perimeter shooter? And you're seeing him making smart plays. I think he had one bad turnover I saw, but you know, all in all, look, this is what we want from our guys. They're gonna lose a lot of games. Versus sit there and be like, hey, we should be winning. But also, we don't have Morris, we don't have Randall. You know, look, and like you said, Mike
you know
Miller,
what? Let me just, and I know this is not you, right?
I know you're gonna say. I know you're gonna say when people complaining that, Randall this and Randall that.
Exactly.
And fair enough. Look, Randall, we got upset with Randall a lot of times because, but then I also said, look, when Randall was especially when Mike Miller came, past few games or some games ago, I was saying, hey, I'm giving Randall credit. The guy was passing the ball a lot quicker and quicker decisions to the basket. Quick decisions, period. And I gave him credit for that. So I know you come at other people and all that stuff. I understand. But even then, look, we don't have those guys. So Mike Miller, he's kind of in a quagmire right now, right? He can't really do much. But this is what we want, guys. This is why I was saying, I don't know. And this is how you know the media doesn't watch the Knicks, because they said, oh, Fizdale's playing the young guys last year, blah, blah. And well, he was playing THJ. He's playing a lot of guys who are going to get traded. He's playing a lot of older vets, if you want to say. So the development, and look, Fizdale just wasn't a good coach. So this is what we want from the Knicks. We want to see development. We saw good spurts of play from the Knicks tonight, but obviously our perimeter defense is terrible. The thing about it is not just the switching, right? Is the fact that when we switch, there's another guy, because we play like this, sometimes this soft zone managed thing where a guy kind of creeps away from his guy and kind of helps out. But then there'll be three guys kind of bogged in, right? Is the guy who got picked on, now he's coming back. Is a guy who's kind of stepping up to replace, to come up and defend a new guy. And it's another guy who's sometimes coming in and he's leaving his man. And defensive discipline obviously going to come with time. It's going to come with different players, guys we draft, bring in. So look, there's a lot of patience we have to have with this team. We're not going to win a lot of games. If we can see little developments from certain players, look, RJ Barrett, I don't know what he's shot in terms of free throw. I know he missed. I saw him miss 2. I know he missed at least 2 or 3. I saw him miss 2.
Let's see, RJ Barrett tonight from the free throw line, he was 5 for 8. Not bad.
5 for 8. So it's not bad. And look, we complain. I'm impressed with RJ Barrett. The little improvements here and there. Look, it takes time. It takes repetition. When people are like, oh, we got to win. It's like, bro, this guy's a rookie, and he's taking on a lot of the playmaking load on his back to say, hey, look, I'm here to try to push the ball, drive to the basket. And like I said, Mike Miller can't do a lot in terms of plays that he could change a lot. Like I said, RJ and even Knox are going to benefit from a lot more off ball, and hopefully Mike Miller or whoever's here. I'm hoping it's Mike Miller because we need continuity. We need somebody to implement more sets for these guys where they can get the ball freely.
And look, this is what I was saying to Nate. This is what I was saying to Nate before we got on, right? He was saying something about Mike Miller. And I was like, well, he's playing without Julius Randle. He's playing without Marcus Morris. It's not much that he's going to be able to do with the people that's out. I mean, you could do stuff, right? But it's not going to, it's going to be hard for it to result in wins without your 2 top scorers out there on the team. And, well, people can say whatever they want. The last few games that both of them guys been out, we've been getting killed in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Because like it or not, and people are going to complain, and say, oh, Julius Randle, defense, da-da-da-da. He is a big body down there that gives people a problem when he's in the paint.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I'm saying? A big body. And just having Mitch out there is, just blocking shots is not good enough to defend the paint. You got to have a whole lot more than that.
And that's the thing. And that's what I was getting last year when people were like praising Mitch, right? I gave praise to Mitch, right? But the thing about it is not, when we kept looking at the blocks and saying, oh, yeah, and he had a lot of, and it was beautiful, he had a lot of blocks. But positioning in basketball, right? Yeah. If you don't get proper leverage and positioning, you're good as done. A lot of blocks, it came from, well, I don't know what it came from, but weak side blocks are nice. But if you ain't blocking every shot the guy's putting up after he gets leverage on you, I mean, you're done for. So, and this is one thing I want to say too, right? Look, I think we need to move Knox to the G League. We need to bring up Kenny Wooten. Like, say what you want.
They can't bring him up. They
Well, they
can't
can't.
bring
Yo,
him
and
up.
y'all gotta educate me because I'm dumb on G League stuff. So I
it's
apologize for
like
that.
so Kenny Wooten is not on a two-way contract. Right? He's just signed to the Westchester Knicks. The Knicks have Kadeem Allen and Ivan Rabb on a two-way contract. So they've got to waive one of those guys and then make Kenny Wooten a two-way contract guy or whatever it is. So
can
right
they sign
now,
Wooten outright?
But they'd have to waive a roster. They'd have to waive a player.
So you couldn't. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, but then obviously you couldn't just.
So they'd have to waive one of their players. They'd have to waive somebody and then sign them outright to a 10-day contract or whatever it is. So they can't just move them up like you would a two-way player. Right now, he's free to sign to another team to a 10-day contract if he wants to.
Well, put it like this, in a heartbeat, because like we complain about we don't have enough those 6'8", 6'9" type of guys who could run the floor, defend, play the pick and roll. And right now we have a glut of two guards. I would drop Ellington. There's really, in terms of, unless we're going to trade an asset for him or something like that, no offense to Ellington, there's no right at this point, since we're basically developing the young guys and focus on the young guys, and I still think Trier needs more minutes. I don't know what the cost ramifications are. I know he has a 2-year, $10 million, right, or something like that. So I think might be
who has
Ellington.
a 2-year, $10 million? I forgot what he has.
So if you waive that, you have to eat all that money, right?
Yeah.
Because damn, man, I want to see Kenny Wooten up here, man. That Nate was just talking about it, right? And he's one of those guys. It seems to me that he prides himself on defense. He prides himself on energy, right? So that means that his focus. I'm sorry. So say it again, Sim?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, my bad.
It's probably one of those guys.
We need those type of young guys to play to kind of galvanize the other guys around him. Because there's nothing more infectious than a guy who gives it all out on defense, right? That's why guys like playing with Frank the rookie year, right? When he was going all out against the top point guards, playing his heart out, getting steals, getting good defensive stops. Guys like playing around those type of guys. And same thing with Mitch, right? And look, Taj Gibson tonight, especially in that first quarter, he had like 10 points. He was killing it down low. But then when they brought in Jackson Hayes, it was like, because obviously Taj is 6'8", 6'9". Jackson Hayes is a freaking tree stalk. You know what I mean? But you need those young athletic guys who can run out. They're focused on the pick and roll. They commit the right way on the pick and roll, that weak side defense. So, I mean, if they could find a way, I don't know how. I just, this G League thing
so here it is. I'm reading this from Ian Begley. All right. I said, if the Knicks want to sign Wooten, they need to create a roster spot by waiving or trading a player.
Oh, okay. So
if
you bring in another player, then
if the Knicks want to sign, if they want to sign Wooten to a two-way deal, they need to waive one of their two-way players and agree to terms prior to January 15th. So if they want to do it, they'd have to do it within the next couple of days. Now, it also, says in here that Wooten is not really concerned too much about these, other teams. So maybe he's holding out hope that he's going to be with the Knicks. Who knows? His agent is the same agent, Mitchell Robinson's agent. They got the same agent.
Okay, so look, and so I'm assuming that if you trade Ellington, you only could trade him for like cash consideration because you can't bring another player back. Right, you have to leave that roster spot open, so you can only trade.
You'd have to leave the roster spot open, so you'd have to do something like if you wanted to include Ellington and someone else in the trade, do a 2-for-1, trade two guys and brought back one guy, and then you could bring Wooten up. You could do something like that. I think that they're probably obviously the Knicks are looking at trades, and things that they can do. And maybe it'll be the type of situation where they bring back only one guy, they send off two, or maybe they send off three and they bring back two, and then they have a roster spot open or something like that. The only thing about waiving a player, to me, to sign them, and of course they've got to look at the whole spectrum of everything to see who's interested. Talk to his agent, talk to him to find out. Do you have any interest in these other teams? Hopefully they have the kind of relationship with him where if he has an interest, he's like, he has the kind of relationship where they say, if you have an interest, call us. Call us. Let us know that you have an interest in signing whoever. Give us the first chance to get you here. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they have that kind of relationship. I don't know. But I think that if let's say you just waive what's his name? Wayne Ellington. And you bring up Kenny Wooten, then that takes away from your trade chips. Right? Right. It takes away from your trade chips. So, they're probably trying to be a little bit patient. Hopefully they're, staying in contact with him and stuff like that. Of course, the more, he's in the G League and his highlights are on, some of his highlights are on ESPN. So he's getting a lot of pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and put it like this, yeah. If he has same age as Mitch, right? Obviously, these guys are probably talking to the team like, "Hey, there's a lot of things we can't do right now, but next year he probably has like a, implied guarantee that he's definitely going to be a big consideration for the regular roster." Because I hate just going over highlights, but Sim, again, when you watch the Diallos, you watch some of these young guys out there who are basically running the floor, making a difference, even just on the bench. You know what I mean? When you look at our bench players coming in, I hate using Mitch as a bench because he's not. Just remove him from the. Say he starts, just take Mitch out. We don't really have a defensive identity from that bench. And I know, yes, we have Frank, but in terms of our backcourt, say Taj is coming up. Taj is, to me, look, solid vet, but he can't do it like that defensively anymore. You need those young guys, man. Like we need, and we've talked about this all the time. So to me, look, I think he has an implicit, I don't say guarantee, an implicit guarantee, say it, that, hey, look, we can't do anything this year, but next year we got you. So hopefully that's the case, man, because I'm watching this kid. It's not just remember when I was at the thing this summer with the workout, and I was like, yo, bro, this boy can jump out the gym.
And this is where I don't understand why they didn't, at that point, it was just Kadeem Allen signed to a two-way contract. I don't understand why they didn't sign him to a two-way at that point.
And then you have Rab. And then someone just pointed out over, as RJ or whoever in here just said, Rab was a Mills guy. And it goes back to the Mills thing. It's like, dude, are you doing this because, and look, the whole Mills thing, when he said, he tried to be, black and, cool with Derrick Rose, he might be one of these cornballs who kind of, instead of looking at talent, that he didn't necessarily sign or bring it initially or whatever, he's looking at guys that are his guys. And I think that's the wrong way to run it. Because it's like you're watching this kid and it's like, he doesn't even have he wasn't even, like you said, he wasn't even considered for a roster spot. And you signed Kadeem Allen, who came into the season hurt, if I believe, right? So I'm confused. Like, is this basketball or is this a guy who's basically running, excuse my language, I know it's an ish show. You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing? So, I don't know, man. Hopefully he's here next year because we could definitely use him, man. And if we draft a young, say we get a guy like Anthony Edwards, whatever, we get these type of guys who are dogs. You got to get dogs around these guys. When Nate said, hey, we're seeing the same thing over, you know how you get young guys to start playing up to a certain level and start to overachieve, and then you can start to bring the proper veterans. When you surround a bunch of young guys who are dogs and who are aggressive and they like playing with each other, so the chemistry is there and the mindset is there, is like, yo, hey, there's a pride thing. It hurts when we lose and we don't like any. That's when you start getting these teams who pop up out of nowhere, and it's like, how the hell does this team get 40 wins? Like, who the hell is this young team? That's how you look at the Kings last year. It's like, and understand, yes, they have players, Fox, whatever, but when you get guys who want to play with each other and they have the chemistry, man, it's a beautiful thing. So hopefully next year we got him, man, because someone this year they said young Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, hey, let's not tell hyperbole. Dennis Rodman was an absolute demon. But if you could play 60% of what Dennis Rodman did, I'd take that in a heartbeat, man.
Well, hopefully we get him this year. I don't, hopefully we are able to, make some moves. The Knicks are going to make a move or two at the trade deadline. I can guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some moves coming at the trade deadline. And, hopefully when those happen, then he's brought up. You know what I mean? I just wish that they would have put him on a two-way contract. I haven't heard anything about Ivan Rabb. Now, there's been some, I don't know. Now, but listen, there were people in this chat when they signed him to a two-way contract that was like, oh yeah, he's a good player, he's pretty good, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. I didn't even know who he was.
Was he the dude hitting the threes? Like he hit 10 threes the other night, or 9, whatever. How many threes was that? Him? Or was that was a point guard, right? That hit like.
I don't know.
For the G
I'm
League.
not
It was
sure.
like the other night. I can't remember, but Ivan Rab, come on, bro. Whatever.
But
Find a way to
we'll see.
bring this boy up, man. We need dogs in the front court. We need these athletic quasi bigs who can run the floor, play defense. As I'm not even just talking about his athleticism, even though his athleticism is a plus.
I mean,
But
Ivan Rab right now for the Westchester Knicks, he's averaging 13 points a game. He's shooting 47% from the field, 22% from three.
Yeah.
Averages 1.4 blocks a game, 2.6 assists per game, and 11 rebounds per game. So he's 13 points, 11 rebounds. 6'10", 220 pounds, young guy.
Nice. He can develop. Bring this boy Wooten up. Find a way, man, because this is.
Who knows?
Hey, yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what they do as they move
and no
forward.
Andre Drummond. I don't want Andre Drummond. I know I know you're gonna talk about that. I'll keep it for later.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about Andre Drummond. I want to look at real quick what Kenny Wooten is doing. Obviously, I think he's like 6 points, 5 rebounds a game or something like that for Kenny Wooten.
6 points, 5 rebounds.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'm
confident in his abilities once he gets up here because
the thing is, people are super impressed with his athletic ability, not his scoring. Not his ability to score. That's one of that's one of his low points is he really doesn't have an offensive game. He's averaging 7.3 points per game. He shoots 63%, 64% from the field, basically. 5.7 rebounds. He's averaging 3.6 blocks per game. He's 6'8", 235. We'll see. You have to see how that translates to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Yep. How his athletic ability translates to the NBA. So since you brought him up, though, I didn't bring him in. You ushered him in. So
that's fine.
I'm just saying you ushered him in there. So Andre Drummond. Let's talk about that. All right. According to Ian Begley from SNY, no Pistons Knicks deal for Andre Drummond is considered imminent, but New York's recent conversations with Detroit about Andre Drummond were more than just exploratory talks. Right? It's more than just exploratory. I guess they're, I don't want to say serious about getting him, but it was more than just, well, let's explore. It was, kind of serious, I guess, or intentional. They really have interest. Andre Drummond, 6'10", 279. He's a center. He's 26 years old. He's averaging this season 17.8 points per game, 16.2 rebounds per game, 1.8 blocks. He shoots 52.9% from the field. All right. So what's your thoughts on that?
If we do this deal, this is like what I said. This is Mills fortifying himself with the poison pill contracts.
Is it Mills or is it Scott Perry?
It ain't. Perry don't have power like that, bro.
But wait a minute. But how do you? But wait a minute. Scott Perry is the one with the connection to him.
It's trying to have a connection. It's Mills who's pulling this stuff off. I don't think Perry. I think Perry is a guy. He's a guy. Not dissing him as a nerd, but he's the brain of because Mills doesn't know basketball. I'm convinced Mills doesn't know basketball. I'm more than convinced that Perry is a guy like, hey, this guy's good, and Mills is like, oh, yo, is this guy good? He's a big name. They look at to trade him, and Perry's like, well, the numbers say this, the numbers say that. He's like, all right, yo, let's try. Perry, Mills is trying to fortify himself and protect himself to keep a job. If you're talking about a guy, and don't get me wrong, Andre Drummond, as much as I think he's talented, I don't want to diss him, right? Because I like his game. But he is somewhat of a relic in terms of his playing style, right? He can't space the floor. He's basically redundant with Mitch, right? But he's just basically Mitch with a back to the basket game. So, and I don't even mind us slowing down the game and getting things in. But the thing about Andre Drummond is that he's on a team right now, and the Pistons, they always are fighting for the 8th spot. So it's not as if this guy is a major game changer. I think that if you're going to trade, and I'm scared that this guy's going to trade a first and Mitch, if you're going to make those trades, you trade it for a game-changing young player. Drummond is not. We were talking about the other day. A guy this is not my consideration, but the people are talking about the kid Devin Booker. If
Oh,
people want to
oh.
trade Devin Booker for Devin Booker, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I would not complain given the fact that he's made improvements this year, and he showed that he doesn't have to be this ball hog. He can play off the ball, he can play on the ball. His game is a lot more multifaceted
well,
than we've seen in the past.
I mean, we don't know. You don't know what they want or what they're looking to do. If they're trying to,
I don't know. I don't
because
want
right
Drummond, and I
now,
don't want to trade for him.
but here's the thing. Right now, Andre Drummond's contract, right, for 2019, 2020, he makes $27 million. That's this season, and then 2020, 2021, he makes 28. Then he's a free agent. He makes 28.7 in 2020, 2021. Now that's a player option. All right. So I guess the Pistons are concerned that he's not going to extend, right? He's not going to agree to an extension with the Pistons. And he's gonna become an unrestricted free agent.
Okay, so what?
Right.
You think about picking him up, giving a big contract?
I don't know if that's what they would be thinking, but this is what I'm thinking. It depends on, to me, it depends on what they're trading, right? If you move Bobby Portis and Wayne Ellington, and I know, you're not, I know, you probably, maybe you do have to give up a draft pick or something. I don't know. But if, let's just say, for example, it was only Bobby Portis and Wayne Ellington because they wanted cap relief or something for 2020, 2021, I wouldn't mind doing that.
But why even give him anything if he's going to opt out next year? I mean, he's going to opt out and be a free agent next year.
Because those guys,
what is it, this year, this summer or next summer?
So at this summer, right? Well, he makes, going into 2020, 2021, he has a player option. He's probably going to take his player option. They're afraid that he's not going to extend to a longer contract.
Okay,
they think
so
he's going to go
he'll be a free
agent
agent after next season. They think, in their mind, they think that he'll be a free agent.
Right, after next season.
So
they think that he would opt in.
Trade? First of all, that trade, what you offered is peanuts. They are not gonna.
It depends on. You never know what they want. What if they just want? Because he's probably going to pick up his option in 2020, 2021. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, if it was something like that,
they ain't doing that.
If it was something like that,
But like this, is he, when you bring in Andre Drummond, does he complement what you already have now? Like, is he a guy who's going to space the floor? Because you have a bunch of plotters, right? You got Mitch, you got what's his boy's name, Randall. You have guys who are more effective in that post area, right? You bring in another guy. Say you don't trade Mitch, right? So now you have Mitch come off the bench. But basically, he's a starter. He's a starter level guy who's going to get, his development is going to get stunted again, right? You have two plotters, right? How does that help us? I'm just going to ask game-wise.
My thing is this. Is Mitch going to be, I don't know. Simma Singh said, Sim, you try to turn everything negative to a positive. I don't. I just think critically. I don't think everything is negative. I just try to figure out how people are thinking and see how things are working. It's not about turning a negative to a positive. You know what I'm saying? It's just talking about it and trying to figure out,
brainstorming as to how he would fit. Like, what is it? I don't know. Come on,
the problem would be obviously the duplication of Mitchell Robinson and Andre Drummond. But if they are looking at Andre Drummond, what does this say to you about how they feel about Mitchell Robinson? If they are serious about Andre Drummond.
That's true, but you're also talking about, again, Mills, who is basically probably scared for his career. And like you said, he knows once he leaves the Knicks, no one is picking him up, whether it is CYO, BCBA, whether it's the PSAL, no league is picking him up. Your child's league, no one's picking this guy up. So he might be trying to fortify himself under the nose of Dolan, who is not basketball savvy, might not be picking up things. So it's not, I mean, it may not even be that Mitch is not talented or whatever, because again, like you said, Mitch is so raw. He I'm sorry, not saying talented, but they prefer Drummond over Mitch. That's what I'm trying to say. Not say Mitch is not, they don't think Mitch is talented. Because it doesn't make it's just not what we need. Drummond is not the piece that's going to
I'm just asking the question because the whole thing about Steve Mills, that's one thing. I mean, if they did make a trade with him, he financially he doesn't hamstring the team. He doesn't really hamstring the team financially, going too deep into it. Too far down the line. But I'm just asking the question, what would their thinking be? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they think that Mitch is 3 years from being a starter in the league.
And you know what, Sim? The way that Mitch we see, bro. When we talk about Mitch and Frank and Knox, right? And I'm not trying to kill Knox, right? With Knox, you haven't really seen like this hyper level production. I'm not even saying that Mitch has a hyper level production, right? But you saw last year where you saw Mitch, you kept saying this kid could be special. Now, yes, obviously he's having a lot of lapses here and there. He's still relatively young. The kid didn't play basketball before what is he, 2021 or whatever? The kid is so stupidly young. It's crazy. But you saw this kid playing defensively, being a difference maker. It was like, yo, if this guy gets certain fundamentals right, he grows into his body, you could see it. I do not want to trade a guy that can be that special for a ready-made guy.
Who said trading Mitchell Robinson? Who said trade him?
Let me not say trade him, but I don't want to stunt his growth. I'm not in for stunting that kid's growth.
But see, I don't think, because he's coming off the bench now, right?
Yeah, but he's still getting major.
But see, I get. I'm tired of hearing this whole stunting the growth thing. I really am. You know what I'm saying?
You're because like
Mitchell Robinson.
I'm joking.
Bro, I get tired of hearing it. Like, everyone thinks that you got to play. You got to play these young kids 38 minutes a game in order for them to develop. And sometimes development doesn't happen that way. So if you have people complain that Taj Gibson isn't a good starting center, right? And so Mitch should be starting over him because Taj Gibson can only give you 15 minutes a game, right? But if you did have Andre Drummond and then Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench for a couple years, that's a pretty good starting center and backup center coming in. You know what I'm saying? While Mitchell Robinson is growing stronger and getting bigger and better.
And then you also know what you're doing too. You also know you could be doing when a kid gets major minutes, right? And you take him out, and the organization is already in flux. Let's just put it safely like that. You can also ruin his confidence in. It can go both ways. Like this,
and it can help his confidence.
When Aaron Rodgers came in behind Brett Favre, he didn't play at all. But when Brett Favre was there, right? He was learning because he had to change his throwing. What's the name that he brought over from Cal, his throwing motion. So he sat. So it's not like Mitch is like never played or played scarcely, and we're slowly bringing him on. The kid has already got minutes now. I think you could bring in other vets, who mirror his style of play and still give him good minutes, like we had with DJ. I understand DJ went to the Nets, but like I said, when DJ was here, Mitch Robinson was committing a lot less fouls. His footwork was a lot better than it was before, and you start to see him grow. So, those are the type of guys I'd rather bring in. Where
the money,
those guys are
right. But check it though. But like you're talking about
DJ took a mentoring role too.
I
don't think Andre Drummond's gonna. I'm not getting Andre Drummond, but I don't see Andre Drummond taking on that role because DJ's looking, hey, I'm at more of the end of my career. And I got trade to his team. Maybe I might not be about blah, but for the time being, we need more guys like that. Whereas, hey, I'm here for 1-2 years. I'm at the end. I might be at the end of my road, or might be more of a veteran. I'm not expecting 40 minutes a night or 30 minutes a night, whatever. But let me help the young guys. Versus a guy in Andre Drummond, well, he may not be doing that. Because look, we brought in a guy like Randall, right? And I'm not dissing Randall. But Randall, you can argue and say he could be teaching probably nobody, because we don't really have a power forward of his mold in the team. But I just don't want to have another guy where they're competing and they're basically trying to fight for minutes, and one is not really teaching the other. So a lot of teachers are going to come from.
But see, that's maybe I'm just from the old school, man. That's how it's supposed to be. You're fighting for minutes. You are fighting for minutes. It is a competition to fight for minutes, and the better player gets the minutes. You know, like that's how, especially if they're still young.
Sim, I'm gonna call out your duplicity, right? You're the same guy who said you're the same guy who said that all right, you're saying that they could come out and damn, I just lost my damn perfect example on you. You just came out and said
I
that
always say the same thing about any player. That they
just
gotta
have my
fight
perfect
and
example. I
earn their
just
minutes.
lost it.
I say it all the time. I always say when in the beginning of the season, when it was said that Mitchell Robinson was definitely going to be the starting center, or Bobby Portis said that they were talking about him backing up Mitchell Robinson. I said, I don't think it should just be given to Mitchell Robinson. He has to earn it. I said it a million times about every single player that's out there. That's why I get so upset with, everybody with the whole, the players can't develop if you got vets playing. I think that's hogwash. You know what I'm saying? I think it's hogwash. Different players have different ways to develop. RJ Barrett's playing 30-plus minutes per game because he deserves it. Right? Because he has certain things that he brings to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how it just bothers me that people think you just got to give somebody something and that's the way that they develop. That's not true because like you said, yes, you could have Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench and it hurts his development, it hurts his confidence. He could be starting. And because he's having a hard time with the starters, it hurts his confidence. He's been coming off the bench and it has not touched his confidence.
Can I just say something? Someone do say I'm talking about as that Drummond. I've never said that Drummond is. I just said Drummond is so talented. The thing with Mitch Robinson, what I'm saying is that when you bring in a guy like that, and you make a point, yes, whoever comes out, the better player, fair enough, right? I just think with certain players, I just feel like there's a different way to develop Mitch Robinson versus bringing in, because when I'm looking at Drummond, I'm not seeing a guy who's going to get this team 40 points. I'm sorry, 40 points, 40 wins, 50 wins. I just don't see that with Drummond. When I want to make a trade, or even just bring in a guy like that, I want to bring in game changers. And the guy, don't get me wrong, I love his game because it reminds me of the old school centers, but it's relatively antiquated. Let's be honest, it's a relatively antiquated game. So when you bring this guy in, is he going to carry this team to the next level? I just don't see that with Drummond. So that's why I'm saying I wouldn't even go through that trouble. When I said that talking about somebody who mirrors his game, I'm talking about veterans who are coming in who also want to take on that mentoring role. I'm not saying Drummond may not want to do that. I just think it's less likely. But look, Drummond is a good player. He's an all-star center. He is a absolute beast. I have nothing against him, but it's tough, man. It's tough. I agree with you,
I'm thinking like this, though, because I'm thinking like this because I don't see one person realistically that we're going to trade for that is going to, obviously not take us to 40 wins this year, but that's going to get you to 40 wins. You got to find ways. I mean, they attempted to do it this summer. Clearly, it hasn't worked, right? But you got to find ways to get players that are going to because Drummond is a beast. We talk about guys that are going to go out and get it. He is, he's a beast of a player. Right? You got to find pieces and parts. And everyone's worried about, you have 10 guys that can realistically play on a team every night and get good minutes every night. 10 players. If you have a good team, 10 players that can really go out there and get good minutes every single night. You know what I'm saying? And, you figure how many minutes are in a game? You got 40 whatever minutes in the game, 48 minutes in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can, two players can split a position if you have to and still get 24 minutes in that position. Everybody is so worried that our young players are not going to develop if you have someone playing in front of them. It kills me.
It's not that, but it's like Sim, Drummond. Drummond ain't, Drummond ain't, bro. Drummond ain't, he ain't it. I don't know why. These stupid trade. I don't want Drummond. The boy he's good. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't it. He ain't it. If you're talking about a guy like Jokic,
but what is it? But what is it?
If we were gonna make a trade for Jokic, I'd do that. Because Jokic offensively, the fact that you have a big man who can space out and facilitate and get the way that Denver Nuggets play, a large part of that is because of Jokic. That guy, I'll say, probably by himself. Could get you. I'm not saying. Let me not say by himself is because people are gonna take that literally. But what I'm saying is that he can affect your team to get 30-something wins, largely by himself, with probably slightly above average players. And he's doing that. Obviously, they have really good players on the Nuggets. A guy like that offensively, where he's a plus multiplier for everybody else, versus a guy I have to dump it down to, and the game slows down for better, for worse, whatever. that it's two different things. So yeah, there's certain plays where it's like, yeah, I trade not the farm, but I trade a lot for him because that guy is a game changer. Obviously, the Giannis's a healthy Kawhi. Yes, we make those trades too. But a guy like Jokic, I trade for Jokic. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not
just
saying
saying,
Jokic is leaving.
I'm not as opposed to Drummond as other people are. I'm really not. You know what I'm saying? I think he can, we have a problem with players that can set screens on this team. You know what I'm saying? We have a problem. I mean, the guy can get 16 rebounds a game. Do we have one person that's averaging over 10 rebounds a game on this team?
Yeah, but you're talking about individual stats. Okay, Drummond comes here, he gives you 20 and 20, and we still win 20
but
games.
Check it, though.
What are we going to say then?
I said one individual stat. All I said he can set good screens. That's helping somebody else. We complain about it all the time. We got one player that can set screens. One player.
I'm not saying that's a great plus.
Like, that is a big part of, you want to have a offense with ball movement and man movement. Setting screens is a huge part of that. Did you watch the Lakers play us the other night? The way that Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis set screens? And how many times these guys were wide open from the three-point line because of the way that Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis set screens? And we got stuck on those screens?
JaVale McGee, too. And remember when AD went down, we still had trouble with that height. And the funniest thing is that JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, how much did they cost the Lakers? Those are veterans who are basically on the street, right? Essentially, I don't know what JaVale McGee's contract is, but Dwight Howard had an unguaranteed contract until when? So I'm saying and also, let's be honest, JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis has always been like that, right? But Anthony Davis also quit his team last year. But JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard are playing like that because they're playing within a system that basically says, if you don't do this, you're not getting playing time, and you're probably going to get cut. Now they can't get cut because it's guaranteed contract, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, that's how, versus you bringing a guy like Drummond. We already seen it with Randall. We already seen it. And Randall was a guy that I watched last year with the Pelicans. I watched a bunch of games, and I thought, hey, this guy, the way he facilitates, push the ball, and we've seen it. You could give a big contract to certain guys. They come to a losing situation without a proper structure, proper culture, and they play their own way. They don't, and they're looking for their own individual stats.
To me, Andre Drummond is way different than Randall.
We say that now. We say it now because now we see Randall.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna say he's not way more proven? He's not way more proven than Randall? Randall, huh? Andre Drummond is not way more proven than Randall was coming to us.
He's more proven than Randall, but again, when you bring a guy on a big contract to a losing situation, they may not say, and you say Mike Miller's no longer the coach. They bring in a coach that could actually be good, but he might be like, yo, I'm getting paid the big bucks. His team is losing. This is my team. I'm the so-called leader because I got the big bucks. Why should I listen to this coach? We've seen it happen on so many other teams.
Okay, so then that can be for Devin Booker. That could be for any other player. I mean, you talk about, a game changer. That could be for any other of these guys then. If it's that's very it could be true. For anyone then. Right?
That's very true. I just said that when I made the Devin Booker comparison, I was just saying certain guys I would trade. But even when we were talking about Devin Booker weeks ago, and whose Mark was saying, I was saying the same thing about Devin Booker. But I'm just saying that Andre Drummond, to me, when I said Devin Booker, I think that Booker provides more value. Even Booker in isolation just provides more value to the team than, say, a Drummond for what we need now. Yes, Booker and Drummond could do the same thing, but we're going all over the place. I'm just saying with Drummond, when we're talking about Mitchell Robinson, and yes, I agree with you one way, Sim. I do want it so that we have it where we have wolves and dogs, where guys are fighting, right? Not doggies though, but the pressure burst pipes type of thing. You got to either go up or move out, whatever the saying is, right? I agree with you 1,000%. But when we talk about development of Mitchell Robinson, we see this guy could be good. I just feel with Mitchell Robinson, it's little things here and there, and he could be more solid. Versus, I think a guy like Knox needs more of that, dog eat dog, or whatever the damn saying is. Because you're seeing it where it's like, the minutes aren't necessarily, this guy had 29 minutes the other night. I think against the Lakers, or against the Jazz, whoever it was. He had 29 minutes and he only had 6 points, and this guy had a terrible game. And it's like, I'd rather see, because we've never seen it with him. We've seen it with Mitch. We've seen, oh, crap, this guy can be good. We've seen the production. We saw it, especially late last year. I've seen a road development. I'd rather not touch that versus a guy where it's so inconsistent with Knox.
I mean, listen. One of the things. What's the reason why everyone's saying bringing up Kenny Wooten? Because we need another center on this team.
Yeah, but he's
right. He's not even a center. But
he played like the four-ish. He played like
right. But one of the big things that people say, a point guard and another center, because Mitchell Robinson clearly can't do it by himself. Let's look at the Lakers against us the other night. Right, Anthony Davis, he plays power forward, sometimes center, 28 minutes. JaVale McGee plays center. He played 14 minutes. Dwight Howard, center, 25 minutes. There's minutes that can go around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mitch is really your, people are talking about you're not going to keep Taj Gibson long term. You're not going to keep Bobby Portis long term, right? If you had Andre Drummond and Mitchell Robinson, when Mitchell Robinson is ready to take over the starting spot, he takes it over. You have those two at your center spot is good for a little while. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's as bad as that. Everybody's so afraid that you're going to hurt somebody else's development that, people don't see that where it can help. Everybody is so afraid of it. Now, obviously, you got to make the right, it has to be the right trade, because then, it's got to be the right moves. Because like you said, you do got to have shooting and this and that and this and that. It doesn't always have to come from the center spot, and come from any place on the floor. We don't have any shooting any place on the floor. We don't have shooting with Mitchell Robinson. So if Mitchell Robinson's going to be the long-term center, he don't shoot the ball.
Nah, he doesn't.
Right? I mean, Andre Drummond can hit a mid-range shot. Mitchell Robinson don't even shoot that.
Well, is it a matter of that Mitch can't do it, or they just don't allow him to?
I've seen Mitchell Robinson. I don't know. I've seen just a couple days ago. Mitchell Robinson was wide open. They dropped back. He just stood there at the top of the key with the ball, and he could have shot it. I bet you Mike Miller would have taken him out for shooting it. He didn't even look to shoot it. Part of it is him too.
Is he allowed to shoot it? That's what I'm asking, because we've talked about this before. I've seen Mitch take 3 shots this year. One that bricked terribly. Another that I think was an air ball, but then one that he is a little on the baseline, maybe like a little 10-foot on the and he made it, and it was not ugly. So I don't know, man. Look, people kill me. I just don't see with Drummond. But you got other people to talk to, because they're killing me in the chat.
I ain't worried about Isaiah. Isaiah's not gonna say anything intelligent.
People make it seem like I don't like Drummond. Drummond is a solid player, but I'm just not into trading for Drummond. But
okay, all right. I mean, I'm just saying, if they did it, and I wouldn't be upset with it. Now, then they would have they'd have to move some pieces. They would have to move it forward, though. They would have to move it forward, in my opinion. You would have to move it forward.
You think the Pistons would take a Randall?
Huh?
You think
no,
Pistons
I don't
would
think
touch
they would
Randall?
take. I don't think they would take Randall, because they got Blake Griffin.
Yeah, but Blake Griffin, he's getting surgery again, right? Something crazy.
Some, I don't know.
That dude is.
Yeah. But you would have to move it forward. If they were going to do it, you'd have to move it forward. You would have to move one of them. Like Bobby Portis, or if it was Julius Randle, you'd have to move it forward. All right, let me get to Isaiah and see what intelligent thing he has to say. What's up, man?
It's a little disrespectful, son. I wasn't saying like that. So like,
I'm just joking with you, man. I'm just joking with you. Stop smelling your fingers like Nate. I'm just joking with you.
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
How's everything with you? It's been a little while, but I just haven't been feeling well. Got the flu right now.
Yeah, it seems to be going around to a lot of people, man. A lot of people getting the flu.
Yeah, man, I've just been sick all day, man, in the crib. But I watched the game though, so it's it's what it is. Are we talking about the Drummond thing?
Yeah, we talking about Andre Drummond a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sam. I side with Gibbo with this when it comes to I don't want to trade for him. I'd rather just wait until like he's available, because I just don't want to give up anything for Andre Drummond.
Okay, but then you're not really siding with Guillermo. You're saying you would rather wait until he's a free agent.
Yeah, I'd rather wait, because I just don't see the point of of a really trading for him right now, currently for the state that we're in.
Well, it depends on it depends. I guess it depends on what you trade. Like if you're giving up some really young assets, then no. But if you're not, and you're giving up some of your older players that's already on a 1-year contract, obviously they might want a little bit more than that. But
Yeah, because what they're looking for though, Sim, because if you say what you're saying, like what you're saying is that like they don't know if he's going to sign that extension. What they're looking for is like draft picks and flexibility because they have a lot of bad contracts. Like they still have that Blake Griffin contract that's going to be there for a couple more years. They have Reggie Jackson contract for a couple more years. Other than that, they don't really have that many young talent. So they're looking for more cash. They're looking for more flexibility in young players and draft picks. So like again, I wouldn't personally give him anything up for a player that's going to be available by next year. If he wants to be, he wants to be. I don't want to trade for somebody and then we got to trade players plus pay him. No, that's a lot for a player like Andre Drummond. That don't get me wrong, he's the best, hands down the best rebounder in the game. But I will say this out here with Gamma. I don't think he gets you.
When your skin is feeling dry and
I don't think his skills give you over 20 wins, or 20 plus, 30 plus wins.
I
don't think
definitely
his skills
get that.
do that for you.
I definitely get that, but I don't think it's just about that. I just don't think it's about that. I think people miss the part of building and putting pieces together.
Yeah, but
building and putting pieces together.
But, let's, for example, right? Let's say we don't give up Randall. Now you got Drummond and Randall starting. I mean, you're talking about no type of spacing for players, and then you have RJ, who's not the best shooter right now. Then whoever your small forward and point guard, you're limiting yourself to have no spacing on the floor when you have Andre and Randall in the court.
So then what's the difference of having Mitchell Robinson and Randall together on the court? People want Mitchell Robinson to start over Taj Gibson. What's the difference? Because at least Andre Drummond, like I said to Guillermo, at least Andre Drummond can knock down an 18-footer. And he'll shoot it. Mitchell Robinson won't even shoot it.
Can he though? I mean, can he really though?
Yes, I've seen him.
I haven't seen him because, you still, at the end of the day, you still let him take that shot because that's out of all the players, you see Andre Drummond shoot an 18-footer, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that Mitchell's better, but I don't know. I'm with it if, he wants to be here and then we don't have to, pay him $28 million because I don't think he's a $28 million player. No offense to him, but I just don't see. I just don't see the benefit of trading for him right now, as what the Knicks are currently. I'd rather I'll just wait.
All right, I get it. For him. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you who should try to trade for him, though. And this is not Knicks right now. You know who should really try to trade for him? The Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks. I think that would be perfect.
You put Trae Young and Andre Drummond together. That could be a tough little duo right there.
I mean, Sim, you're talking about if he goes to the Hawks, Sim, you're talking about and I'm not saying he's Dwight Howard, but you're almost looking at like what Dwight Howard was when it was the Magic, when it was all the shooters around him and he was just the only one that could rebound and grab all the boards and kick it out to shooters. I mean, you're talking about that. That's kind of that would be a perfect team.
Man, if he goes.
If you put them together, that team can win you about. If they were currently, they'll win about 30 plus games.
Yo, if he goes to the Hawks, man, that'd be tough. And the way that he can set screens, and the way that they like to screen for Trae Young, whoo.
Hey, Sim, you know what's crazy, Sim? I used to work with Andre Drummond's best friend. Because Andre Drummond's from Middletown. No, he's from Connecticut. He's from Connecticut. So I used to work with his best friend, and he was talking about Andre Drummond and how he's like improved this year before I left that job. But I'm gonna see if I can talk to him, see how Andre Drummond feels about certain things, or where he thinks he's going.
And I see King E161 said, I've seen Andre Drummond hit a 3. That don't mean he's a shooter. Now I never said he's a shooter, but I guarantee you he's taken 100 times more mid-range jump shots than Mitchell Robinson has taken this season.
Hey, so can I say this though? What disappointed me, sir? I forgot what game we were blowing out a team. I think it was the Cavs game. I was really disappointed in Mitch when he didn't shoot. I remember we just blowing him out. I was like, man, that's the perfect time for him to just shoot and just to show that he can do it. Because like I'm tired of seeing all these practice videos with him like shooting threes and he's not doing it. It's like, dude, like you gotta at least shoot like a free throw, 12-footer, or get a hook shot in your arsenal or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you've seen all these workout videos of you doing all this stuff, but man, listen, you gotta do it in the court, man. If you're gonna take your game to the next level and not just be a shot blocker, you gotta learn how to do at least a baby hook or something to get the teams to respect you honestly, or at least a solid 15-footer shot or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you can't just be out here just blocking shots and doing that because after a while, Sim, I mean, listen, this is every Knicks fan. You're gonna stop calling that raw potential and he can do this, and you gotta wait for him because we'll keep saying that 2 or 3 years later. We're like, well, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So,
and listen, that's going to happen. You can guarantee if Mitchell Robinson next year isn't good enough to be the starter, then people are going to start wilding out. I can guarantee you.
You know that.
I can guarantee it. I mean, if it was up to most of the fan base, well, not most, a good portion of the fan base, Frank Ntilikina would have been traded last year. Right? Now, people like what they see from him. They think he's starting to become what they asked for, but they didn't want to wait for it. He would have been traded.
Sim, this is, again, how many times, listen, how many times did me, you, Guillermo, a lot of people that supported Frank said that, it takes time with certain players. Like, people will get so hyped, right? Yeah, like, best example, like right now, people see John Morant. Then they see RJ Barrett. And they be like, well, we clearly know who's going to have the best career. How do you know that? How do you, just because one guy's having, I remember people saw Donovan Mitchell his first year, was like, yo, this dude is going crazy. Second year, he didn't play that good. People were like, what's going on with Donovan Mitchell? Now that he's his third year, now people are like, okay, we see it again. It's like, yo, you got to give these players a chance, man. Just because a guy has comes up the gate scorching hot doesn't mean that he's going to have a better career than somebody that's not doing as good as him right now, man. It's like, yo, y'all just always want immediate satisfaction and gratification about certain things, man. It's like, yo, it takes time for a lot of these things, man. It takes time for a lot of these players to develop. The NBA, if the NBA was easy, a lot more people would be in it, man. It's like that. It's like we want these players to come out, score 40 points every game, and have 8 break records and be this amazing person. And it's like, no, that's not how it works, man. It takes time. It takes time, and then it's
we're
like,
gonna see what happens. I mean,
we've been saying that with Frank Ntilikina this whole time, that he plays defense. It's just let the offense come. It's gonna come. He's just getting comfortable his third year. It takes time for people, man. I just hate when people just like they see all these other players, and they just because they see all these other players killing it, that it's just everybody else is just a bust. No, man. Sometimes it's about where you're drafted at. Who coach, like you said earlier, Frank Ntilikina has literally had a new coach every year. Literally, he's had a new coach every year. And I've noticed that in the NBA, out of all major sports, being a head coach in the NBA gets the least respect. It doesn't, you get the least respect, and people don't believe coaching matters in the NBA, but it does. And it's like, you hear that a lot in football, that if you have a good coach, you have a good football team. In the NBA, it's the reverse. If you have a good team, your coach must be good. No, man, coaching matters. Like, if you have a coach every year, you're not going to be that good. I promise you. Clearly, you're not that good when you have a coach every year.
Okay, so let me run this by you before I get to anybody else and before I get to some other people. It's out there. I read something too that the Knicks might be interested in Kyle Kuzma.
No, I'm fine. I like Brandon. I was telling Emily, I was like, if there's any way we could get Brandon Ingram which I highly doubt.
Bro, we're not getting Brandon Ingram. We're not getting. Did you see what he did tonight? The Pelicans are not giving that up.
Hey, Sam, Sam, I was telling Gambo, right? I was like, yo, man, I know, I see, what's his name was in the building. What's his name? The GM for the Pelicans. What's his name? The dude for the Cavaliers, the GM.
I don't know, but go ahead.
Eddie Griffin or whatever his name is. I forgot the dude's name. I said Eddie Griffin. The dude, whatever his name is, dude, man. I'm like, I hope this dude screws up and doesn't get Brandon Ingram because they didn't give him an extension this year. They did. So he's going to become a restricted free agent. But yo, man, I hope they don't lock him up.
Listen, Brandon. Listen. Let me tell you something.
That's a bad man, yo. He's only 22. That's a bad man.
Listen, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram. Listen, they got a nice young squad over there, man. In the West, they're still, within games of making the playoffs without Zion even playing. Drew Holiday. If you get Zion back and you got Drew Holiday and you got Brandon Ingram, like they got a nice little young squad that they're not gonna let Brandon Ingram go.
Yo, man, that dude's a bad man.
They're not letting him go. But tell me what Kyle Kuzma. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Kuzma.
Nah, me neither.
I'm not a big fan of Kyle Kuzma at all.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Kyle Kuzma, man, I think he's an okay player. He can get his buckets.
He's an okay player, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, I'm not that big of a fan. I'm not a big fan of him either. I wouldn't really. I wouldn't trade for him personally. I'm good on him. I'm looking at him right now. This dude look like the dude from Rush Hour 1, Jin Tao. This dude got blonde hair in his head. Man, LA's really taking him over. I'm fine with Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyle Kuzma. We'll see what's going to happen with these guys, man. We'll see what's going to happen with these guys. Let me get the White Chocolate. See what White Chocolate's talking about. If he's there. Let me see if he's there. Hey, White Chocolate, you there?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Shout out to the chat. Man, it's been a while since I've been on.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm doing good, bro. Just been, working, grinding. I've been trying to stay up, and watch the games and stuff like that. But I haven't been able to follow really much of any type of sport recently. But yeah, I was actually at the Clippers game, which was crazy because I had 15th row seats or something. I was really close. I was watching the whole game. It was crazy. It was crazy to be there.
Oh yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm here. Go ahead.
So we talking about Drummond, right?
Well, actually, we had moved on to Kyle Kuzma.
Oh, Kyle Kuzma. You know what? I like Kyle Kuzma. I think he's young. I think he is a good option to develop. I think he's on a really nice contract, and he's for the next 2 years or something like that. And yeah, I think, and he's younger than Randall, so I think there's potential there. He can actually shoot. Unlike Drummond, when you were talking about his you were talking about how he can from 15 feet or whatever. I actually pulled up his stats for this year and last year. Last year, from 15 to 19 feet, he was 1 of 9, and from 10 to 14 feet, he was 10 of 32. So he was shooting 31% from 10 to 14 feet.
All right, but what's Mitch shoot from there?
About 11% from 19 to 15 feet.
Yeah, 19 feet. That's going to be too much. But what is Mitch shooting from there? 0%. You know what I'm saying? He could. I didn't say he was a knockdown shooter, but he could shoot it.
Hey, I'd rather not take a bad shot than rather take a bad open shot. You know, this year though, he's
Now, I would
shooting-
rather Mitch take some of them open shots. Because right now, what they're doing with Mitchell Robinson, he'll be wide open at the top of the key. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. Right?
Right.
And they drop way back off of him. He won't even look to shoot, so it clogs up the paint. Mitchell Robinson can hit it. I'm telling you.
I know he can. Yeah,
He can hit it. He's got to shoot it. He can hit it. You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Robinson can hit that shot, especially with that one day when he was wide open and he didn't even look to shoot it. I was like, come on, you got to shoot that. He can hit that shot.
Maybe he just doesn't have the green light. No, I mean, I'm sure he want to shoot.
I don't know.
If he can't, then I'm guessing his coaches have something to do with that.
It's hard for me to see. You can say that. It's hard for me to see. It's hard for me to see a coach telling a player when there's nobody around you not to shoot the ball. I disagree. I mean, when he was wide open there, he was almost at free throw range, really. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to see in the NBA, telling a player don't shoot it if you got the ball open shot at 15 feet. I just can't see that.
Well, I mean, it is a pro game. If the coach is telling him not to, then not. At least that's what I think. I don't think.
At the beginning of the season, he was talking about how they wanted him to shoot it.
Right.
There's an interview where they were talking about him working on it, and they asked him, are you going to shoot it? He said, I wouldn't be practicing it if I wasn't going to shoot it.
So maybe he just hasn't gotten the green light to shoot it, or that's what I'm saying. Because
I don't know. I think. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're wide open like that, you can shoot it. He may not have a green light to catch the ball and jab, step, and take a dribble and shoot it. You may not have that green light. But if you're wide open, they're going to allow you to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? He just got to shoot it. You know what I mean? He can hit the shot.
We just
He can
got to
hit it.
see what else is he going to, what else he can do. See if he can bring that, that ability onto the court. But for Drummond, I mean, the thing about Drummond is ineffective unless you have a good point guard and a stretch four. So if you have someone like Randall playing with Drummond in the paint, it's not gonna work out. They're gonna not be able to mesh. There's not gonna be any chemistry there because Drummond needs the paint completely to himself to operate. That's why the Pistons always played with a stretch four, kind of like what Dwight Howard used to be on the Magic. And we don't have a point guard to really run pick and rolls with Drummond if we do get him. But
I mean, that could be, but you can't always base it on what you don't have when you're building for the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
is Drummond really a piece that you can build around in the future?
Listen, I'm talking about anything, any player that you're gonna get. You can't say, well, I'm not gonna get this piece because I don't have that piece. You get one piece, and then when you can get the other piece, then you can put it there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you say
that,
I'm not going to get this player because I don't have a point guard that can run pick and roll with him, and then when you do get the point guard, you're like, man, I should have got that player. I could have put them together. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get a piece when you can get it.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case, and if we're really interested in him, depending on what they're asking for him, I would rather much wait till he's a free agent next year, because if this year. I have a strong feeling if this year the Trailblazers don't make it to the playoffs and go far or whatever, I think they're gonna blow it up. And if they blow it up, we should be the first one calling for Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I would love to get Damian Lillard in New York. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what his contract is, but I would love to get Damian Lillard in New York, man. I really would. I like Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I think he's in the first year of a 5-year extension. And people say, oh, he's 28, he's 29. But what people don't realize is that he left out of college at 24. So he doesn't have NBA mileage that much.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he might not have NBA mileage, but at a certain point, it don't matter. You're going to start dropping, Right. We'll see, man. It's a whole lot of stuff. We're going to see what goes on, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of stuff going on, and we don't, everything with this Knicks is just up in the air. So up in the air right now. We don't know what to expect, what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how
it's crazy.
like everything's playing out.
I mean, and honestly, for me, this is just me.
Yeah.
The best for me would be this. Now, we really don't do much at the trade deadline, and we let these contracts, the people that we don't want, we let those contracts, we don't sign them in June 28th, June 28th, we waive them, and then we go on and we do something else, because I don't know what's going on with Scott Perry and Steve Mills.
Right.
So that's really what I prefer. I prefer that we don't do nothing, because I don't know what's going on with Scott Perry and Steve Mills. I don't know how all that is going to go down, right? So I prefer you just don't do anything. And then in June 28th, you got guys like Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. You got all those guys where if you waive them by June 28th, you don't have to pay them.
Right.
I would rather go that route. You know what I'm saying? And then let our new general manager and those guys, if we got a new president, general manager and everything, and then let those guys make the decision. That's the route that I would really prefer to go.
That's smart. That's
the route that I would prefer to go. That's what I would do.
Right. Me personally, I would see it as if we can get rid of some of these assets with these good contracts, like Bobby Portis and Ellington and Bullock and all those guys and Gibson. If we can get rid of them for like second round picks or first round picks, I highly doubt the first round picks. But if we can get them for second round picks without taking back any contracts, I say we do that. So even though we're gonna let him go, I say we can just bring up the young kids from the G League, round out our squad, and tank for hopefully a lottery pick. I don't know if the NBA is gonna screw us over even worse by positioning us out of the lottery, because now the lottery thing has changed. So it's not even like if we tank, there's no guarantee we're gonna get a top 5 pick. So that would be the worst thing at the end of this year if we have a top 5 worst record, but we fall out of the lottery. That would be like a nightmare to start the next season. But I also think that even whoever the GM, the new GM or the new president that would come in, they would still have to deal with Steve Mills, because let's be honest, Dolan's not going to get rid of Steve Mills. And the way I see it, I think Steve Mills tries to undercut every GM or president that comes in and, tries to implement his own influence. So I think there's a lot of politics going on in the front office, because I don't think Steve Mills wants to give up that power, and rightfully so.
But that's the reason why. See, that's the reason why if I'm James Dolan, I'm like, don't do anything. The problem is that's his boy.
Right.
That's his boy. You know what I'm saying? So like James Dolan is, I guess, a gullible dude. You know what I mean? But I would really prefer they just don't do anything, and then kind of start from scratch when the new GM and president get here, and then let them figure out.
I think Steve Mills got a video of James Dolan saying the N-word or a sex tape or something.
I don't know.
He's holding it against him. That's
I think that's just his boy. Listen, here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I'll say about James Dolan. People can say what they want. James Dolan has been from like one of the guys that tries to stick by somebody, good or bad. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it with Steve Mills. You've seen it with Isaiah Thomas, right?
Fortunately,
he does those type of things, and do that. You could do it in another way. Don't have to be with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Right. Don't have to be with the Knicks. You could do it in another way. Don't have to be with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I would prefer. Let me get the Mark over here.
Yeah, just one
let me
last
get the Mark.
thing I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
I find it crazy how he has the Rangers play pretty much playing for the Stanley Cup every year, but he hasn't been able to turn the Knicks around. That's the craziest thing that I've taken out from this whole thing.
Well,
You know,
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
It's about the perception of the teams too. The Knicks have a bad reputation across the league, so it's hurting. It hurts. But let me get over here to Mark. All right, somebody let Mark know he's about to go live. Mark, what's good, man? Got a question for you.
Go ahead, bro.
What's up, man? So let me tell you my preference.
Go ahead.
My preference for the Knicks is that we don't do anything at the trade deadline.
You are damn right.
Right? This is my preference.
Okay.
My preference is we don't do anything.
Go ahead.
We don't, not even for a second-round draft pick. We don't do anything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when Scott Perry and Steve Mills gone,
oh, yeah, that's what.
then you bring in a new GM and president, and then you let them start from scratch with the guys that's already under contract. Okay, the salary cap is, the way things are set up. Bobby Portis, Todd Gibson, all them guys, you can waive them by June 28th, and you don't have to pay them nothing but $1 million, right? Now, over the summer, before June 28th, if he wants to trade them or, during the draft or something like that, then okay, but you let the new GM and president start from scratch. That's my preference.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of people, if that happens, that get mad and say the Knicks could have did this, they could have traded this person for that, they could have got this pick or that pick, right? I prefer really that they don't do anything. Let a new regime come in and start from scratch.
All right, so
that's what I think. That's the best. To me, that's the best scenario.
All right. So
because there's really nothing out there that just makes me be like, yeah, we really got to get this guy.
No, you're right.
Really,
you're right. There's one player who I would consider making a move for, and he would be a value piece to what we could do defensively, and that is Michael Beasley from Denver.
Malik Beasley.
I like him a lot, man. As a young player, and to put around his team, and he's so defensive minded. He has a high IQ. Because Denver's not going to be able to pay him because they have other players that they have to pay. And I think he could be a piece to put around these guys. So if there was something I could do, he's one person who I'll consider. Now, I hear everything you say, and I was thinking like that. I was really thinking like that. But there's one player that I like, which is Malik Beasley. And he's a plus player. When I watch him, the kid is just spectacular. That's who you want in a perimeter guy. He does everything you want in a perimeter guy. And I think I think he's under 25, and he'll be perfect for us because we can't guard a goddamn perimeter. You seen what happened tonight. I didn't barely watch the game.
Look,
but you seen what they did to us on the perimeter.
Yeah. There's guys out there that I like. There's guys out there that I like.
Now,
right?
Can I say something?
I just want the new GM. I don't want all this ambiguity. No. Ambiguity. I don't want all of that. I just want a new GM and president to come in, take what's there, and then start to make things happen.
And Sim, and this is why I've soured. I haven't watched no Knicks games. I haven't been on your stream. I've been souring because I come on the internet today and I see Knicks talking to Detroit for Andre Drummond. So remember when I was telling y'all, I was like, listen, they're going to do something stupid. It's inevitable. It was inevitable because I had a strong feeling that they was going to do something for a player I don't even – and I liked the Drummond out the draft, but Sim, hell to the no. The kid
Well, see, I disagree with you. I think he's a really good player. Now,
he's a good player.
I think he's a really good player.
He's a good player. But not for the contract that he wants to command. Because if supposedly we trade for him, right? Do you realize that he's looking for more than $100 million contract? I don't think he should get that. He should not get that because I watched him for Detroit. He don't impact the floor, not even as good as Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert is very limited as a big man. And when you watch Utah Jazz, Rudy is a defense, bro. He's been 2-time defensive. Now, that's who you pay $100 million and you be okay with it because, you know, he makes the team better. He makes the players around him level up their defense. Drummond does none of that for me. He has games where he's engaged. He has games where he's not engaged. Listen, I have a big problem with players like that. I don't want them on his team. I don't want to see them. I don't want anyone to pay attention to them. So number two, if we traded for Andre Drummond, I don't care what you would have gave up. Just bringing him here, I'm afraid that these two fools is going to give him a contract that I don't even want to consider giving him. Because, again, he's 26 years old. I don't think he's going to get better offensively. He's good. He's a good rebounder. But defensively, he's not elevating your team. He's not making your team nowhere a playoff team whatsoever. There's no type of impact when it comes to when I watch him.
Well, I disagree. I think that he could have.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I think that he could be. Now, see, I wouldn't have Scott Perry and Steve Mills do this, right? Because, like I said, I want a new GM to come in on a clean slate. Now, I do agree with you that maybe like right now he makes $28 million. I don't know if that's.
That's like the same thing I'm saying.
Hold on. Listen. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good contract for him going forward. He probably will get that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I don't know what the salary cap stuff is going to be like going forward. You always got to look at that too. You know, what is the salary cap? What are the salary caps going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Sam.
But listen, I am a big person on rebounding. Setting screens, listen, it is a crucial part to your team.
He does that in elite.
Hold up. That is one of the reasons why this team is terrible. People were saying to me, in the chat, you're too big on someone setting screens. You don't understand how important that is. Look at what the Hawks do with Trae Young. Look at the way LeBron kept getting those open threes. It's because of screens. I don't care if we don't have someone who can shoot it right now. You can develop someone who can shoot it. Hopefully, RJ Barrett's going to be able to shoot it. You know what I'm saying? But you put people in place. And I'm not saying it has to be Andre Drummond. What I'm saying is players, you don't, just like White Chocolate was saying, you don't get Andre Drummond because you don't have a point guard to go with it. My thing is this. You don't stop getting a player because you don't have another piece. You get a piece when you can get it. And then you add another piece. Then you add another piece. And I'm not saying go out and get Andre Drummond. Yeah. But I like some of the things that he brings. I didn't say. And I think I think a 1-2 punch at the center spot of a Drummond and a Mitch could be very good. But obviously the money. I agree with you with the money though.
If we go for Andre Drummond, Mitch ain't gonna get the minutes that we want him to get because
but my thing is, listen, we have to start to be realistic about Mitch. That it's gonna be a few years before he is a legitimate. 15 and 10, 15 and 12 guys. I think it's going to be a few years before he is a legitimate guy that is going to really anchor you. And even then, you still need two.
Listen,
you still need two.
I already know that. But what I'm trying to elaborate, right? The Knicks are in a state where supposedly we go get Drummond, right? Drummond's going to opt out on that deal to try to get another 4 or 5 year deal.
That's a scary thing,
right? Do you want Drummond for the next 4 or 5 years at that salary cap that he's going to ask for as the only premier? Because once he gets here, he's going to be the premier guy. He's going to be the premier guy. Well, that's the thing. Right? He's going to be the premier guy. Now, supposedly, it's like the Steven Adams thing. When you look at Steven Adams, like, if I had Drummond with say, like, when they had Russell Westbrook and Paul George, and then you have Steven Adams and your third guy, cool. I'll be fine with that. But we don't have a first or a secondary guy to go with Drummond. To have him here first and to sign him at the over 100, he's going to ask for over 130. That's playing with our money, bro. So in that case, it has to be a no until we have that one guy first that can elevate the guys around him. Then you go for guys like Drummond and stuff like that to put around them. You don't put right now with Drummond career as now, you can't put nothing around Drummond because, again, he showed you that he can't even get the Pistons to the playoffs in the weak East. If you're talking about an impact center, He's not an impact center, even though he grabs rebounds.
I mean, Anthony Davis couldn't really get the what you call it by himself.
No, but listen, no. But
you know what I'm saying?
he's
But
gotten there.
no one's gonna
there.
do it by themselves. But that being said, Andre Drummond's probably not coming to the Knicks anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with the Hawks. If he ends up with the Hawks, I think that's gonna be perfect.
Sam,
that would be really good.
Hold on, Tim. Before I go, the Hawks don't even want to give them a first. Detroit's looking for a first. Hawks is out of the deal. They want a first, and Detroit don't want to give up the Nets first round pick. Drummond's value is so low right now because teams don't want to pay him.
Well, listen. I mean, obviously you're gonna read that stuff. You don't know how things work out. People are gonna say stuff. Teams
like
you know how it goes, Mark. Teams are
$90
gonna say stuff in the news to make one team try to up. You know how all that stuff goes. You know what I'm saying? I actually hope he ends up with the Hawks because I'd like to see the way that looks.
So, you know what it is? It's like paying Middleton $180 million. Oh, Tobias Harris $180 million. Why would you do that?
But all I'm saying, I would like to see him end up with the Hawks anyway, because I'd like to see the way that
the
looks
Hawks
for him and Trae
Young. First round pick because Detroit want either a young player or a first round pick. And if the Hawks ain't trying to give up no first round pick for no Andre Drummond, they'd have been done it. They'd have been done it.
Well, it doesn't always go that easy, but I'd like to see him land there. If he landed there, I think it'd be
but
nice.
if he comes here, he can't be the sole on guard, and then we have to pay him all types of money that's going to dig into our cap.
Let me stop. Nobody was comparing AD to Drummond. What are you talking about?
No, you can never do that because at the end of the day, AD is way more versatile.
No, I'm talking about Guillermo. I wasn't comparing AD to Drummond.
He's talking about situation.
I wasn't comparing him to Drummond. What are you talking about? But anyway, I would like if he's gonna be traded, I'd like to see him end up with the Hawks. Well, that's where I would like to see him end up. I think it would be nice down there. Although I'm not a Hawks fan.
I heard if we were supposed to trade for him, it would take Dennis Smith Jr., I think Bobby Portis and Wayne Ellington. If that was the case, I'd be like, yo, here, I'll deal with Andre Drummond for now.
Now you say, look, this guy, you talk about somebody flipping and flopping.
But they won.
But I agree with you, though. I agree with you. No, I agree with you, though. If you talk about...
I'm not giving that for Andre Drummond. Hell no.
No. I'm not giving up any draft picks or a young player. But if it's Dennis Smith Jr., Bobby Portis, and who? Wayne Ellington? I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, do you see those three? Wayne Ellington,
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Basket, and Bobby Portis is just who he is, and Dennis Smith Jr. is a broken down tool that can't play in New York because his confidence has been stripped.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, now that's the case.
Really quick.
Now that I know he's gonna opt out, but still at the end of the day, I still don't want that on the team because for some reason I feel like those two is gonna stay next year. I'm so soured until I see those two going. I'm gonna be positive about the team, but right now I'm soured out. Bro.
Hey, Mark, let me stop for 1 second. Guillermo, what I was saying is this. I was saying Mark said Drummond couldn't get the Pistons to the playoffs by himself. I was saying AD being better than Andre Drummond, miles better than Andre Drummond, didn't get them to the playoffs by himself. That's what I was saying. I wasn't comparing the two.
Well, he got them to the playoffs twice, so he's shown you that he's capable of doing it. But if you got an extra piece with Anthony Davis, that means he's a piece that could take you farther.
I mean, this is the thing, and I'm just speaking not even about Andre Drummond. As we're looking, we get our new GM and president, and as we're looking at players coming in, right? Every player is not going to be a guy that's going to get you to the playoffs. Every player is not going to be every player is not going to be that, and that's the reason why I seen some people.
It's not that for me. When I watch basketball, bro.
Right, but listen. Some people in the YouTube chat are saying when I said I want the Knicks to really not do anything, they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." The reason why I'm saying that, guys, is because when we get a new president, GM, coach, they're gonna have a philosophy, and if we are starting to make moves and bringing in players, and then we bring in players that don't fit the new GM's philosophy, now what? So I feel like you kind of just sit still. You don't do anything.
Yeah.
Now, if that new GM wants to trade for Kyle Kuzma or Andre Drummond, then that's what they do. I would hope, but then that's what they do, and then you got to hope that their vision comes to fruition.
You like Kuzma?
Right now I think you just sit still
Yeah, you sit still,
Because
bro.
you don't
sit
know
still
what
right
Scott
now.
Perry and Steve. We don't know what their fates are with MSG right now with the
I'm
Knicks. We don't know
afraid.
what their fates are. We sit still, and then
So,
let the
Sim,
new GM and president make the moves.
you like Kuzma?
No, I don't.
I hate that.
I do not
Listen,
like Kuzma.
he's one of those guys that are so confident, but the impact that he has on the floor is just zero, zelp, nothing.
I do
And
not
that's
like
the thing with
Kuzma.
Drummond. Like if Drummond showed like some impact defensively for a big 7-footer that grab good rebound, like I compare it, like if he was Steve Adams or Rudy Gobert, I would not have a problem going after that young thoroughbred. Because he could be a piece to help you. It's like now, it's like going for DeMar DeRozan now. You seen what DeMar DeRozan could do for your team now. You're not going to really want to get him now, and you're not going to really want to pay him what you want to pay him. So you'll rather look for the next young guy that have greater impact that can grow into that contract and become better than either better than DeMar DeRozan. And at this point, with it, how the Knicks are set up, I don't want nothing to be done. Like, honest to truth. Honest to freaking truth. Honest to truth. Unless it's Malik Beasley that I'm cool with. But other than that, I don't want nothing to be done because I'm afraid they might pull the trigger on Andre Drummond, which I don't want to happen. So it's just a dumb move. So I want the Knicks to really right now just, park it. Don't do nothing because we don't know what they're capable of. Well, we know what they're capable of. We saw what they did. And they didn't do a great job.
But
so
you know what the bad news is? You know what the bad you know what the bad news is, Mark?
Yeah.
They're gonna do something.
They're gonna
do something. That's the thing. They're gonna do something.
Sim, when I saw Andre Drummond Knicks talking, I felt like my girl cheated on me today, bro. I sunk. I sunk because I'm staying away from the Knicks game because I just can't watch them because I'm so sour because the trading deadline is right around the corner. And I just know that these two buffoons is gonna pull. Did you hear that Perry's bruised by Perry because he knows Andre Drummond and he has connection with the Detroit Pistons. So when I see that, I said, yes, he did work with Detroit. He did work with Detroit, and he was there when they drafted DeAndre Drummond. So that could be really a possibility. They really go get Andre Drummond. I'm afraid of that. So now I'm just so soured out on the team. I can't feel confident and positive. They're doing it to me, and it's just like, listen, bro, I'm trying to stay sane with this team, but they are just.
So listen. So this is Ian Begley. All right, I'm gonna bring this up real quick. This is Ian Begley talking about it. So we can hear it. You know what I mean? All Knicks fans right now are holding their hearts. They don't know what's going on. They're mad at me because I said, Andre Drummond and Mitchell Robinson could look nice together. So they're mad at me. They call me crazy. Then they call me crazy because I said, that the Knicks should stand pat at the trade deadline. I'm not going to back off
right,
that.
Bro. You're right.
I think they should definitely stand pat and not do anything unless it's something that's so spectacular you just can't pass it up.
Big, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I do want to let everybody know, though, before we listen to Ian Begley, I do want to let everybody know that tickets for the Knicks Nets on January 26th, they are available right now. I put a link in the chat just earlier. I'm putting the link in there right now. Make sure that you go get them. There's only 16 available. Section 214, row 90, row 4. Section 214, row 4. $98 a piece. Really good seats. $98 a piece is not bad. You'll get, before the game, you'll be courtside before the game, and then after the game, we'll take a picture on the court. So, make sure that you get your tickets now. All right, so let's listen to Ian Begley, Mark.
Go ahead, bro.
All right.
Cue it.
Let's hear what this guy got to say. Hold on 1 second.
Indeed touch base with Detroit.
Here we go.
Latest on the trade front here with the Knicks is that New York did indeed touch base with Detroit about a potential Andre Drummond trade. Now, things can and do change quickly here in trade season because we're so close to the deadline. But I was told that the Knicks' recent talks with Detroit were indeed more serious than just an exploratory nature. So this is something to keep an eye on. And there's several elements here when you talk about the Knicks and Drummond to unpack. For one, Drummond is a potential free agent. He has a player option for next season, and ESPN has reported that Detroit expects.
Oh, hold up.
the Knicks could be looking at this to opt out of that contract. And ESPN has reported that Detroit expects him to opt out of that contract. So the Knicks could be looking at this trade as a way to maybe get off salary on their books, maybe a Julius Randle or a Dennis Smith Jr., and that would free up money for them in 2020. And we know that the Pistons, some people with the Pistons at least, do have an interest in Dennis Smith Jr. But the flip side of this is, do the Knicks see Drummond as a long-term piece here? Would they be interested in re-signing him if they did trade for him? And if they did that, you wonder what that means for the future of Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks' second-year center, because it seems like those two would overlap. So if you bring in Drummond and you re-sign him for a long-term contract, it leaves you wondering about the future of Mitchell Robinson here in New York.
So we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen anyway, but they, according to
Sim,
Ian
can I
Begley,
say something?
they're
I
kinda
forgot
serious.
to tell you guys. Because Mitchell Robinson has an extension coming up, right? So what Ian Begley just said kind of make truth in it, because the next extension for Mitchell Robinson is going to be like a 4-year, $55 million deal when it comes to Mitchell Robinson.
It'll be a longer deal. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a longer, more lucrative deal.
So it's crazy, because if you're gonna pay Mitchell Robinson that extension, it's like you're paying him to be either a starter or really heavily in your rotation. So now if they're bringing in Drummond, to get off Julius Randle, Dennis Smith, all good for it, because now you know that Drummond is wanting to opt out, which he's going to opt out. He's going to opt out. So we don't have to end up signing.
He's opting out without a doubt.
Yeah, we don't have to sign him. We could just let him go and just be at square one, which we're at anyway.
Right.
And we could just start all over. So it all plays.
Well, do you think he opts out? Hold on. Do you really think he opts out? Because, so his contract is like this. His contract is like this. Hold up. His contract is $27 million this year, and then he has a player option for 2020, 2021, which is $28.7 million.
All right, so check it. If you look at the landscape of 2020, there's no free agent, so he's putting himself out there because, again, there's going to be a team.
He can't opt out for 2020. He can't opt out until 2021.
He can't opt out to 20. So wait, so you're saying if we trade for him now, we'll have him for an extra year?
If we trade for him now, right, we would have him. If we trade for him now,
his player option is up. His player option, he can opt out.
So he has a player option for 2021. So if we traded for him now, then he would have to. His player options for 2021. So he would finish out 2020, and then he'd have an option to
next year.
He'd be able to pick up his option for 2021. Then after 2021, he's an unrestricted free agent. So he'd have an option for 2021.
It don't make no sense, because that's the same thing as the Julius Randle deal.
No, Julius Randle goes beyond 2021.
He goes beyond?
I believe so.
No, we signed him this year. We gave him a 3-year deal. It was a 2 and out, right?
So Julius Randle is $18 million this year. 18.9 million in 2020, 2021, and then 19.8 million in 2022. Now, Julius Randle, he can make I don't see any. Yeah, so Julius Randle, he can make $900,000 for making an all-defensive team, earning an all-star selection, or making the playoffs.
Making all that crap.
So, but it doesn't say anything here about And hold on. Julius Randle, he's only guaranteed $4 million in 2022, 21-22.
Okay, so either way, it would still be good, because
so the Knicks would have to waive him by June 28th. The Knicks would have to waive him by June 28th, 2021.
Oh, so basically taking on Drummond will be just a year earlier from the Julius Randle contract. So it still makes sense, but then again, I don't know if we bring in Drummond and they give him, say if he comes in and they talk to him and they talk about we're gonna extend you. That's what I'm afraid of. Well,
yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm afraid of.
But here's my thing. I still view Mitchell Robinson as the long-term starting center. I just don't know if he's going to be that for another 3 years. Like legitimately.
I already told people when he got drafted, that boy got a full 4 years to develop into whatever he's going to develop
exactly.
into. I already know that.
Yeah, right. He's got a little while.
If you're bringing in Drummond, it's going to not say derail what his full potential could be, but it's going to kind of cap him as a player. He's not going to have the full. He's not going to have the full responsibility that he should be getting.
I don't think he's going to have that full responsibility for a few years.
Yeah, no, I know that.
He's not going to have that full responsibility for a few years. The thing would be, if they did bring in a Drummond, you can only sign him for 2 years, which Andre Drummond probably ain't going to do that.
No, he's not. You know
what I'm saying? You only sign up for 2 years because you would be expecting that in 2 years. Now you're going to switch off and you're going to have Mitch as the starter.
Yeah, because now that plays with. Because remember, agents is agents, bro. They're gonna do what's best for their player.
Exactly.
And when it's the same thing with Frank. When Frank extension come up, he's asking for 4 for 44 or 5 for 55. And I'm telling you, these players, if they don't get it, they're gonna take their talent somewhere else. So we have to be very, very careful when we bring in players who we want to see excel, to bring in players to the growth to devalue their growth. So we're in a state where we have to be very, very careful because we like our young players, but these young players want their money at the end of the day, and their agents is going to go elsewhere if the cotton's more sweet. It's like the same thing with Harrison Barnes. He got paid $90 million for what again? For what? For what?
Hey,
what do we do?
The one thing that we have to look at as fans though is that the salary structure is so different nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, bro.
Like, you know, we hear a player that's getting paid so much money, and we're like, yo, they're getting paid all this money, but it ends up being what their value is worth sometimes in the league because these players these things are so they're so big now. These contracts are so huge.
I'm not paying Tobias Harrison the $30 million, bro. No. Honestly, what Middleton got from the Bucks was the dumbest thing the Bucks could have done because that's going to lead them out of Giannis. And I'm telling you right now, if they don't make it to the finals in the next 2 years, he's out because guess what? That team cannot make any move because they done capped out. Because once they gave Middleton 180, Sam, you're better off letting him see what team's going to give him and then you match what the teams give him. Just like what Houston did with Capella. Capella was supposed to get 145 the year that he had. And what did he end up getting? $90 million. They let him sit in the market, let teams see what they was going to give him. And then they came back and said, listen, this is what we got. If you want it, you take it. You take it. If you don't, you can go elsewhere. Just because you think they should get that don't mean that's they value around the league. Just same thing with the Tim Hardaway contract.
But listen,
Tim Hardaway
listen what I'm saying.
$2 million.
But listen. You got to understand what I'm saying, right? The projected cap is going to be $116 million for 2020, right? And it continuously goes up.
I understand
right?
that.
So when that means that it's like it's inflation basically. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes
it's inflation. And so, these salaries are going to continue to rise. And there's going to be players that you think shouldn't get this amount of money. Obviously, there's going to be players that get bad contracts. Someone's going to give a player a bad contract. But it's going to be players that...
After the 2016, when teams went out and paid Biyombo $70 million, they stopped doing it. I'm going to tell you why Milwaukee did what they did. And why Philly did what they did. Because now, what Philly did what they did, because they already have 2 established players. So you know what? Let's give Tobias Harris. If that don't work out, we could end up trying to trade it, but I doubt they could trade Tobias Harris. But they're okay with it because they lost Jimmy Butler in that deal. So they couldn't lose him. They couldn't lose him to nothing because then they would have been capped out. Same thing with the Bucks. The Bucks couldn't lose Middleton, but that don't mean his value was there. You could have let him check out the market because you can do that. And they had his rights. That's the thing. When you have their rights, you can match. That's the thing when you have players for a while. You can match what other teams do. That don't mean that you're supposed to give these players that type of money.
Well, I mean, I disagree with you on Chris Middleton.
Sam,
listen, check this out. Hold up.
He's been in playoff games.
Listen. Listen, the value that one person has to one team may not be the same value that it is to another team.
Yeah, go ahead.
You get what I'm saying there?
His production don't show me $180 million
But listen,
when it comes to playoff
understand what
time.
I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying. One player's value to one team may not be the same value to another team.
I understand.
Right? Because how many times have you seen a team let somebody go, right, that they didn't want to pay, and then the whole system broke down?
Marginal players.
I mean, marginal players or players that aren't. I'm just saying they let somebody go because they have a system set up where you know it all works, it all flows and works together. And then when they say, well, we don't want to pay that person because you know the value. You know, we can get somebody else that does the same thing for a cheaper price, but it doesn't always work that way because the chemistry is different. You know, it changes. So you know. The value to one team may be different, you know. So one team might value this player a little bit more because it's like, he fits in what we do.
That's understandable. That's understandable. That's really understandable. But when for Chris Middleton, no one on this God green's earth think he should have got paid $180 million because again, it's not that he's not good as a player, but when you have Giannis, right? Every year you have to tinker. You have to pull players out and put new ones in to keep that player. And what I'm telling you is that by them giving Middleton $180 million when they gave it to him, you capped out the team, meaning that you couldn't resign Brogdon. They could have resigned if they didn't give thing. That's meaning you could have two players. You could have two players that's worth more than paying Middleton $180. Now, when the time comes for Giannis to play in the playoff, he needs a secondary player with him. If you're going to pay a player, you're paying him to be his number two. Just like when you watch KD and Steph at the time. You're going to pay Steph that money because guess what? He's a career average 27 points in the playoff, and he impacts the game in ways you've never seen it. Middleton has been terrible, and you still gave him $180 million. Now, when Giannis look again and they lose, say if they lose in the second round again, he's gonna look around and say, "Yeah, Middleton should have never got that contract because guess what? He's human. He's human, and he knows what type of players we can roll with."
I get it. And
so in that case, we have to be very careful. When you think because this player's on this team,
you saying this season Chris Middleton's playing terrible?
I'm not saying no. He's a good player, Sim. He's a good player. But when you're paying someone $180 million, you're paying him when we get into the playoffs.
I think they did the right thing. I think they did the right thing. And if they win the championship, everybody else will think they did the right thing too.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I think they did the right thing.
I'm not saying they did the right thing. I'm not saying they're not. But they have 2 years. They have 2 years to show Giannis that we can either get to the finals or in the Eastern Conference final because they've been kicked out the second round. A player of his ilk, they're not looking at him to get out the second round. Giannis is the next guy to run the NBA. So now they're thinking of the Bucks of a finals team now. So now if you're paying someone $180 million, I don't want to see nights where I cannot count on my second guy who I pay that amount of money because at the end of the day, you need that 1-2 punch. Either one show up one night or one could or one does other things or one could show up one game and take over. Middleton has been terrible. He hasn't been terrible in the seasons, in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, you don't see him for $180 million. So now you're going to look at yourself and say, I really paid this guy $180 million. I'm okay playing with Giannis paying that money because he's greater.
Let me get to a couple phone calls. We'll see how that works out with them. I mean, right now, what are they? 30? What are they? Let me see what their record is right now. The Milwaukee Bucks right now, I think they're 30-6 or something like that. Right now they're doing the thing right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out for the Milwaukee Bucks, man. I think they did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? They had to secure it, and who knows? Maybe they couldn't even. Maybe if they didn't secure Chris Middleton, Giannis is like, whoa, this is my road dog, and you didn't secure it. you don't know how to, we all speculate. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, man, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. I've been listening to all the Drummond talk, so I had to get in on it. I think the biggest thing with Drummond, in my opinion, is, first of all, I hear guys talking. And I know when they're talking, they're being, just somewhat tongue-in-cheek. But listen, the guy's a double-double guy, 3-time All-Star. He never gets hurt, right? Plays like 78 games a year. And he's 26 years old. Now, you would argue he's got a lot of miles in that body? Maybe. But I just think this guy is a legitimate top NBA player, all right? That's just a fact of the matter. And he makes us better immediately. Really, the question is, though, A, what do you have to give up for him, right? Mm-hmm. And if we do rate him that highly, I think your point that you raised earlier, which is you don't want Perry or Mills getting involved with anything, and you want the new leadership team that we hope we're going to have in June to do that. But my thing is, if we rate Drummond that highly, right, he's going to opt out this summer, right? If he wasn't, I don't think Detroit would be so quick to want to move him. So if they already know he's going to opt out, the fact of the matter is we can go in for him as a free agent, right? If we value him in that way. So I think, maybe standing pat is the best way to go, and if you're looking to dump Randall, if that's the reason behind it, again, it might not be a bad decision, but it's just a decision I don't want this leadership group to make. But I do think, again, and I'm probably going to get killed in the chat here, but anybody who's either trying to suggest that Drummond isn't a top-notch player, if Mitchell Robinson developed into Drummond, you'd be ecstatic. That's the fact of the matter. You know what I mean? So, and the idea they can't play together, I think that's ridiculous as well. I think you raised an excellent point. Mitch is 21 or 20. He's gonna have growing pains along the way, and he can coexist with Drummond for 2 years if indeed that was the direction we wanted to go in. So the other thing I just wanted to mention too, and I said this earlier to someone else, is that as a paying customer, I've been one of those guys who's been screaming to see the kids. I want to see the kids. I want to see the kids. But thankfully, I didn't go to the game tonight. I almost bought tickets. I didn't go. But my goodness, to watch them tonight without Morris or without Randall kind of explains why you need to have those vets in there, because, you do have customers paying to watch something. And tonight, the guys didn't play well. I didn't know what you thought about my position, but I was curious to hear what you thought.
About playing the young kids.
Drummond.
Oh, about Drummond.
Yeah.
I mean, people are gonna say what they say. Drummond, what do you have tonight? 28 points and 23 rebounds. They lost in OT. But who's he got? He's got Bruce Brown. He's got Svi, whatever the guy's names. Andre Drummond, Sekou, Demboya, Tony Snell. Derrick Rose had 27 points and 5 assists. I think Drummond is a heck of a player. He's a big time ball player in my opinion. He can really play. He can really ball. He can really rebound the ball. No one's going to be a perfect player. No, he's not going to win you a championship. He's not going to get you to the playoffs by himself. He's not going to do that. Clearly, he's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I agree with you about him. You know what I mean? Now, but I do agree with Mark about the contract stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think that Mitchell Robinson, looking at the way that the league is going to be, should be your long-term center. Hopefully, he develops into being that long-term center where he is, he's averaging 15 and 12, 15 and 13 and 3 blocks a game or something like that. That's the hope for Mitchell Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Because he has talent that's out of this world. We don't know if it's, if he's going to develop into that or not, but we all assume that he is. I assume that he is, or really, really hoping that he is. But in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? If you plan on one day being competitive, you got to put competitive players out there. You know what I'm saying? And right now, he's the only true center we have on the team. And clearly, he can't get it done by himself. Right? I mean, the Knicks lost tonight, and he had what? How many points did he have tonight in the Knicks loss?
I don't have the boards in front of me, but he had definitely got double digits, right? I mean, he had I thought he had 15 somewhere in the fourth quarter, if I remember.
Who, Mitchell Robinson?
Yeah.
Now, Mitchell Robinson tonight, he had 12 points, 4 rebounds.
Right.
You know,
yeah, look, I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. You know, you get, and here's the other part of it too. As a Knicks fan, and I don't know what the other your other viewers or listeners think, but part of my problem is like whenever we're gonna make a deal, my instinct is to say no. Like when the Lowry deal was talked about, I remember the time saying to myself, please don't do it. You know why? Because I have no faith that we're going to make a good decision. You know what I'm saying? So they could tell us we're getting Giannis, and I'd probably get scared because I don't trust. I can't trust this leadership team, and maybe it's unfair to Perry for me to feel that way because I think he's a basketball man. I think he understands the cap. I think he understands talent. So I hate to throw him in there, but I got to be honest. Anything these guys are thinking of doing, my instinct to say is wrong. And again, I'm sure they have a plan, but to your point, I think that as an institution, we are not in a bad place. If you want to rebuild a team, you're not in a bad place. If you're coming in here, you're looking at draft picks, no cap problems, a couple of young pieces to build around. You have all of that. And my concern is if we do get a bad contract or we do get a bad deal in here, it makes the job less attractive. And I know the people are going to say, oh, it's an attractive job. This is a very attractive job. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you feel you're strong enough to deal with those. But if you look at the squad, the way we're positioned right now, if you're a GM and you're a president who feels like you're going to have a free reign, and that's always the question, but you're not coming into a team that's got a ton of cap problems, bad contracts, aging players. You don't really have that. And, I think if we just don't mess with it, we're more likely to get an attractive candidate, whether that's Presti or someone along those lines, to come in here and take this team over. So I don't know, but I guess I am with you. But again, the guys who are hating on Drummond, again, I know they're being a little bit, over the top to be funny, but just sleeping on that kid, and I don't know what you want in a ball player. If you think a kid who's got those type of numbers, and again, I don't talk about the durability because people don't talk about that. There's no load management for that cat. That kid's running out there 78 games a year, and in the NBA that doesn't happen anymore. And he puts up legit numbers, and he's not a bad ball player. He's not. He's a very nice ball player. And again, he has a little bit of a post game, not a great one, but a decent one. And I just think I think you got to give credit where credit is due, and that kid's a beast. So, listen, thank you for taking my call this night. All right, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you, my man. Have a good one. And big shout out to City for Real. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Sim, my guy, Alpha Wall Street, dunked on somebody tonight. But proof is in the pudding. We lost because bad bench play, and poor 3-point shooting. Yeah, those two things exactly. And T. Williams, thank you for the super chat. You said, let's do things the right way. Tank for Anthony Edwards. Whatever, I guess. Let me get to another phone call here. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, what's up, Sid?
What's going on, man?
I don't know. I'm hearing. I mean, you're the only guy I've heard. You and this last caller, the only guy I've heard since all night.
Say that again.
I said you and the guy who called just a minute ago, the only guy who's made sense all night. I don't know what people want. I just don't understand. What do you think we're gonna do? Like we're doing we're rebuilding. You got to rebuild and you got to get assets. Got a bunch of tradable commodities. Andre Drummond, like you said, Mitch isn't ready. Mitch isn't going to be ready for 2 or 3 years. You go get Andre Drummond. If he doesn't cost you Even if you give him a 2023 first, who cares? Even if when you got to pay him, you give him 3 years, 95. You've got Andre Drummond at 27, 28, and 29. He's 8. He doesn't get hurt. Look at his stats. He plays over 72 games a year. He's giving you 17 and 14 every night, and for beginning part of the stretch of this year, he was giving you 20 and 20.
And we'll see.
He brought the Pistons to the playoffs last year with Blake Griffin on one leg, and they almost gave the Bucks a run for their money if Blake Griffin didn't get hurt. I mean, this guy is a stud, and I don't understand. Like, we have the cap flexibility to do it as long as you don't give up. You know, anybody you give up is money for us. As long as you can keep Mitch, RJ, and Frank, everybody else can go. Like, you're getting Drummond, you could pay Mook, and you could still have enough money, sign a max player. Plus, we're going to have a top 5 pick this year. Plus RJ, Frank, and Mitch. That's a heck of a team. With Randall, that's a heck of a team to start with next year. I don't care what GM you come in with. Now, I agree with you. If I'd rather just do nothing and overpay for Masai Ujiri, but we're going to make a move. That's a smart move. I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe it probably is. I mean, like I'm saying, I still think that Mitch is going to be your long-term, 10 years down the line, your starting center, right? That's what I think. That's what I hope on him. That's what I hope for him. In the meantime, you need to be able to, you need to be able to put a legit starting center on the floor, that's going to be able to beat. Listen, we see right now with Julius Randle out, how his big body, the paint is wide open. Wide open. Andre Drummond's got a big body down there. You know what I'm saying? Now the contract stuff and how all that works out, I don't know. We're going to see how it works out. Honestly, I don't think that the Knicks are going to end up with Andre Drummond anyway.
No, I don't know. We don't know, but if we're not going to get rid of Steve Perry and Scott Mills, Scott Perry and Steve Mills, we're not going to get rid of those guys, which I don't think we're gonna, because you would have heard something by now. I mean, we're almost to the trade. They're going to let them attempt a trade deadline without trading. Letting because if you get a new GM, he's got to start in May. You can't let a GM start after the draft or after free agency. He's got to start in May.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That thing down, build it up, and he's got to be the guy at the draft lottery. He's got to be the guy at the draft, and he's got to be the guy going to free agency, or you just made a dumb move. So that's what we did with what's his name? Phil Jackson. We let him draft Frank. Everybody in the whole, like we've heard now that it's over with, that everybody wanted Donovan Mitchell, but Phil Jackson. He wanted Frank.
Yeah.
I mean that like we can't let so if we're not gonna get rid of Perry Mills, hey man, put a team that's gonna go to the playoffs. I don't care if we're an 8 seed. We haven't been to the playoffs in 8 years. We haven't been to the playoffs.
Hey,
my
man.
Let me see a playoff game next year.
Yeah.
With Andre Drummond, Mook, Randall, RJ, Mitch, Frank, and whoever else you can put on the floor. If they're good players, and you have a good coach, that's a team that's going to make the playoffs. I'm sorry. Mook is playing out of his mind. Randall's a good second or third option. Drummond is a proved double-double. RJ's going to hopefully take a leap. Mitch is he's going to be in his third year. Frank, hey, after that crossover and dunk last tonight, hey, we keep him. That kid's got That was if he can
I
do
mean,
that.
but even with that crew
Oh
that you
my
just
goodness.
said, even with that crew you just said, we still don't have no shooting on the floor. But hey, I'm gonna let you go, man,
Yeah,
so I
but
can get to
we
some
could
other
get
people. All right.
shooting. We're gonna still have money. I mean, it's not like
Okay.
if we get rid of, like you said, if we get rid of Ellington or whoever doesn't get traded at the end of the year by June 28th, we waive all of them. They get $1.5 million, and we send them on their way, and we go after shooters. Like, that's still a great team. All right, you guys have a good night.
All right,
Thank
man.
you very much for letting me
All right.
rant.
Later. Let's get to another one, ladies and gentlemen. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, Skin. Peace to the chat.
Hey, what's
That
going on,
last
man?
caller you was talking to, I don't understand. At the beginning of last year, at the beginning of this year, they was talking about developing the youth. I don't understand Knicks fans for nothing, Sim. I don't understand. They started off with Knox starting last year. They took him out. They took him out the starting rotation, and then each time you turn around, his minutes got shorter and shorter. Tell me one player that wouldn't progress. Last year we would say, let Frank play. Now Frank is playing okay. He's not playing to the extent that we need him to play, but he's playing okay this year. These are young kids. I don't understand you guys, man. What's wrong with all the fans? Last year they said, Knox good. This year they trade him. They quick to trade him. What's going on?
I don't know why people so quick to trade him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he needs some work. He needs to develop. He needs a lot of work, right? But trade him, I don't think is the move. Giving up on him, I don't think is the move. But he definitely needs a lot of work. He's got to find his confidence out there. He's lacking some of it right now, a lot of it.
Okay, send him to the D League. Let him come to the D League. Let him get some. Let him get his mojo back. But trade him. We're gonna trade him. He's gonna go somewhere else. They're gonna develop him, and he's gonna come back and kill her. Last year, we developed Moutier. We let Moutier go for nothing. Now look, he wasn't playing to the extent that he was like Moutier killed us the other night. He killed us. Hey Burks, same thing. He killed us. These are plays that we had and we just let go. And we don't keep somebody and develop them, we don't always have the same problem. We don't always be stuck in the same place. They have to get a developing coach that can develop these guys. Something that they need. I don't understand. I do not understand for the God of me why everybody talk about trade this one, trade that one, always trade. They don't play to the extent that they think that they should be playing. They want to get rid of them. This is kid's second year. You said it the other night. It takes 4 to 5 years for somebody to develop and become who they're going to become.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I mean, I think with Knox, I think they need to send him down to the G League and let him play down there for a little while. You know what I mean? I think that's what needs to happen. Atlanta did that with Tim Hardaway Jr. Now, Tim Hardaway Jr., I'm not saying is the big star, nothing like that, but it was a shock to him, right? It made him say, "Yo, I got to do something with myself and my career." And then he came back to the Hawks, a changed player. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all part of development.
He played good for them because they made him realize, listen, you a role, you piece that comes off the bench, and this is what we need from you. This is all you got to do. This is what you have to do. And that's all them young players need. They need a coach that's going to tell them, listen, you got to get in your street. I seen Knox take a mid-range shot today, and he looked so nice. I was like, yo, if they keep him in the post and let him take mid-range shots instead of keeping him on the three-point line, he would play much better than he's been playing. Work from the mid-range and work your way back out. I don't understand why all the Knicks players come down. I was watching. All the Knicks players came down. 4 players was around the perimeter, and Mitchell was in the post. That's not, that there's no movement. There's no ball movement, and this is why we get blown out again, because we pass it once, twice, and then they take a shot. Or they get into this hero ball. There's no. We need people moving, and we need ball. We need the ball to be moving. The reason why every team come in there and they got these great shooters is because they're shooting in rhythm. You get in there, you shooting with somebody right in your face. If you moving, your adrenaline's pumping, and then when you take a shot, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get it. They shoot terrible because there's no ball movement, there's no player movement. Everybody just stand around. But everybody want to cry that they want to get rid of these players. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was in the beginning, they're saying, oh, yeah, we got this guy. He's going to help us. But now he's not playing to the extent that we thought that he was. Get rid of him. Get rid of Morris. Everybody want to get rid of these. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get rid of them and get something that's worth getting. Somebody that can come in here and help us. They need to get somebody that's going to help develop these young kids. If we're going to get somebody to develop these young kids, we're going to be every year saying the same thing, talking about the same thing. Get rid of this one, get rid of that one.
Nah, I agree with you, man. Hey, I appreciate the call. I'm going to try to get a few more people in before I get out of here, all right?
All right.
Very good points, man. Appreciate you. Call in, ladies and gentlemen, 516-455-2246. I got a couple of calls left, a couple of calls left. I do want to remind you that tickets for the Knicks and Nets game is available right now. All right. Section 214, row 4. I just put a link in the YouTube chat. Again, that's section 214, row 4. All right, it's $98 per ticket. It's a good price and they're good seats. All right, before the game, we'll be courtside to watch shoot around. Then after the game, we'll go take a big group picture on the court, stuff like that. So check it out. All right, let me get you another phone call. Call, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
What's going on, Tim? How's everything, man?
I'm good.
Good. Can I just get on this Andre Drummond rumors, whatever you want to call it, for a minute?
1 second. I just want to respond to somebody. Son, you said, talking about Kevin Knox, you said, and he still puts up better numbers than Frank's career average. But was the same dude that said, don't send Frank to the G League. You're emotional. No, I'm not emotional. This is what it is. And I explained this a couple of streams ago, actually. The reason why I didn't think that we should have sent Frank to the G League is because although Frank didn't have confidence in his shot, Frank was hesitant to shoot the basketball. He never looked to me like he lost confidence as a player. Kevin Knox, to me, looks like he's lost confidence as a player. And there's two different things. Being hesitant to shoot, not shooting, being indecisive about shooting doesn't mean that you've lost confidence as a player. I feel like Kevin Knox has lost confidence as a player. That's why I think he needs to go to the G League. I didn't think Frank needed to go to the G League. 1, because I didn't think he lost confidence as a player. 2, because even as a rookie, he could defend on an NBA level. Right? And that's a big barometer when you have a player on the floor. Can they defend on an NBA level? Kevin Knox is not defending NBA players. Right? So there's a difference between the two. And that's why I felt like Frank could have stayed in the NBA, because he could defend players. And I never thought he lost confidence as a player himself, as a player. Maybe he lost confidence in his shot. Maybe was hesitant to shoot the ball or hesitant to take the ball. But as a player, I never felt like he lost confidence as a player. I feel like Knox has lost confidence as a player, and he doesn't defend in the NBA. I still like him. I'm not against Knox. I'm not against Knox at all. I like Knox. But I still think he's lost confidence as a player. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and maybe not mean, son, maybe you weren't here when I said it. Just like when Roy Jones Jr. fought Anthony Tarver. and Anthony Tarver knocked him out. Once he got knocked out, he lost his confidence as a boxer, and he kept getting knocked out. Something happened during this season that I feel like knocked out Kevin Knox's confidence as a player, and he needs to regain it. That's what I'm saying. All right, go ahead, caller.
Yeah. Let me say something real quick about Knox. Now that you're talking about it, I think I don't even know if sending him into the G League it would work, because those kids down there are fighting for their lives. They're hustling. He's not that type of player. He's a lazy player. I don't even think that's going to help him.
I mean, you got to at least, you got to see. And, you know, those guys down there fighting for their lives, because now that he's in the G League, he's got to fight for his too. So, you know, it might.
I just don't think he has it in him, man. He's lazy.
I mean, you never know.
I just
Listen,
think we should trade him for another somewhere where, you know, maybe they have another high pick that's looking like a bust, just like a 1-for-1 type of deal.
Listen. He is a year and a half into his season. I don't want to hear, bro. I don't want to hear. He's a year and a half into his career. You know what I'm saying? This is what the last caller was talking about. Everybody is so quick to just be like, boom, 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 boom.
But,
like, if you're talking about developing players, that's what the G League is for. That is part of the whole developmental system you're supposed to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you use it. You use it. If you're talking about that's what everyone's talking about. We're not developing players. You use the G League to help develop the players, to help bring out something that you want.
Is the G League,
instead of just moving them,
coming back up and know how to play defense or any, like, I just don't see it in him. I hope I'm wrong, and one day he proves, you know.
Because look, but you know what? People said the same. People been saying the same thing about Frank for years. Ever since he's been in, I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Like you were saying before, Frank was always defending, even when he wasn't hitting shots. It's not because he's scoring. There's no point of him being on the floor.
But what I'm saying is, people have been saying, just like you're saying you don't see it in him, a million other people said that they don't see it in Frank too.
Yeah.
Right? And and I'm not saying that he's lighting up the league and scoring 20 points a game. I mean, but you can see the evolution. But we're just not. You know, you got to let these guys go through it. Let them develop a little bit. Try to put them in a place to help them develop. But go ahead with what you was going to say, man.
Yeah. I want to talk about Drummond. I don't like that type. To me, I feel like the league has almost passed players that can buy. Like, he's not a shooter. He's not a defender. He's a rebounder, and he'll get a low post move. He'll score on you once in a while. Like, I just think guys like him, they just don't fit the league anymore. Like, you don't need Drummond. Look at the Lakers, right? They're playing McGee and Dwight Howard, making peanuts in terms of dollars, and they're being very effective. You don't need a guy that you're going to have to pay him because he's going to opt out this summer. So he's going to be a free agent. So what, you're going to give him over $100 million? For what?
Well, we'll see what happens there, man.
You know, he's averaging whatever. He's a great rebounder, but you don't need that. You just don't. Like, he's not going to space the floor, right? He can't shoot. He's not a defender. I mean, he'll get a block once in a while because he's almost 7 feet, but he's not a defender. He's an amazing rebounder. That's really it, I mean, then you're going to have to pay. What are you going to give him? We're going to trade some for him. Might as well just sign him, which I wouldn't even want to do that. They'll just take 2 contracts. Like, I could give him Randall and Dennis Smith and then just let him go. I'd rather do that,
Well,
but
we will see. We will see.
That's just a typical Knicks trade right there.
I don't think it's a typical Knicks trade because
it is, man.
No, it's not. I don't see. But hold up. Stop for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a typical Knicks trade because of when his contract expires.
Yeah, he's gonna opt out.
Right. So if you're giving away players that you are going to, like when me and Mark were saying, DSJ, Wayne Ellington, Bobby Portis, guys that may expire. I mean, I'm not saying that's what the trade would be. You've got to, before you say it's a typical Knicks trade, can we see what the trade is first? Like,
I mean, you think they'll just
first of all, a trade hasn't even went down,
and they won't want to pick a young player or nothing.
Listen, a trade has not went down. There's been no players named, nothing like that. and it's a typical Knicks trade. Nothing's been named. It's just the only thing that's been said is that they are interested, and it's been more than exploratory talks.
Even to me, that's too much. Like, I just don't, like, it's just such a guard and a wing league. Like, you don't need a center like him. You just don't,
All right.
man.
Well,
They're extinct almost nowadays.
Well, if
really
he doesn't
are.
stay in Detroit, I'm pretty sure he's going to go someplace and, you know, continue to be successful and put up the numbers that he's put up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he put some numbers, but he doesn't help his team win. What's the other one?
Well, I can tell you that the Detroit Pistons have been to the playoffs more times than the New York Knicks in the last however many years. Haven't they?
But, I mean, he's got Blake Griffin next to him for a couple. What are they doing?
Listen, all I'm saying is they've been to the playoffs more times than we've been to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And they're closer to getting to the playoffs this year than we're closer to getting to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, we can knock all these other teams and all these other, you know, players that are on other people's teams and say that this person's not a difference maker, that person's not a difference maker. We haven't had a difference maker on this team, and I don't know how long. We probably still don't have a difference maker on the team. This team's not making the playoffs with no Blake Griffin, with no Reggie Jackson. That team is closer to making the playoffs than we are.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can say everything that we want. We ain't even close to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, hey, let me let you go because I'm about to get up out of here in a minute. I appreciate your call. You know, who knows what's going to happen, man? It's going to be, you know, the next month. Well, we got about 3 weeks until the trade deadline. It's going to be interesting to say the least, man. Let me get back to these guys that's in here. Let me get back to these guys that's in the video chat because I'm about to get out of here. But it's definitely going to be interesting to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. Guillermo, I'm coming to you, man. And talk about who the Knicks play next, and if we can get off this losing streak.
The Schneid.
5-game losing Schneid, whatever word you said, skid.
I think it's like a baseball. I always heard with the Mets, and we've lost a lot. So yeah, it's Schneid, but I feel you.
And
we play the Heat next, I think. So.
Oh my gosh, that's right. We play the Heat next.
That's the most emotional I've ever heard you give off, and you sound scared, man. Why you scared, Sim?
Because listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, we about to get smacked. We got smacked by the Heat the first time.
Yeah, we gotta get smidak. Yo, look, we're already in hell. How can you be scared to go to hell when you're already in hell? It's fine.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's fine. Look, all I want, and look again, people want to get all mad and everything. Not saying you. Look, I want this team has to lose. They have to find some type of resolve, and this is what I like about this Mike Miller thing, man, where you're teaching the kids as they go along. Look, you're gonna lose, but do this better. If they start seeing tangible, the thing that can give young kids confidence is when you tell them to do something. It can be in any type of thing in life, but when you give them confidence, you give them wisdom, and it starts to come to fruition. Oh crap! When I come around this screen and get the ball, I do feel a lot better because now my man's over there. He's stuck over there. I have an open shot. Or when I take when I dribble on my right, Frank Ntilikina, when I do a crossover and beat my man, oh crap, I can finish at the basket. The Knicks are the best offensive rebounding team. Oh crap, I shoot a bad shot. Mitchell Robinson got it. Taj got it. Now we reset the clock. That gives me more confidence. Oh, okay, it makes sense now. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to shoot. So I'm cool. The Heat are gonna come, and it's actually a lot they can learn from the Heat. Look at Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy Butler pulls the same thing he did last time where he only takes 3 shots and he's facilitating to everybody else. And that's not even an insult. That's great by Jimmy Butler. That's smart because Jimmy Butler is playing with a team that's probably going to go to playoffs. You got to get the young guys involved. You got to get them to feel the ball to make it feel like, all right, I've been here before. So I hope the Knicks take stuff from these Heat. I'm not even looking for us to win. I don't know if Randall's going to play. I don't know if Morris is going to play. I don't give a damn. These Knicks, I'm happy, develop, continue to run sets, pick and roll. I want to see more off-ball stuff where RJ's cut into the basket. He did it he didn't do it in the Lakers game. I think he did in the game before, and I have it in my notes, but Yeah, I can't remember which game it was, but I was so happy when I saw that. That's the type of stuff I want to see, man. Knox, I don't even want to, what's funny, Sim? I don't even care about the score anymore with Knox. I want to see Knox play good defense and smart decisions. When he dives on top of the ball, make sure you're on top of the ball, Knox.
He
Don't
didn't even have to.
don't
He
allow
didn't even
any
have
of
to
your
dive on
defenders.
top of that ball. He didn't have to dive it. He could have picked it up. I don't know why it dove. I was
Sim,
sitting there like,
how did he miss
this
that
was
ball?
this was last game. Yeah, this
It's
was the
almost
last game. I
scientifically
was like, why did he
impossible to
dive
miss
for
that
that?
ball.
Huh?
I said it's almost scientifically impossible. If you look at the angle that he jumped at the ball was moving at a slow pace, but Knox literally jumped quicker than it, and the ball got away from. I don't look. This is what I say about Knox, and this is to the call that called in, right, when we were talking about Frank, or no, to means whatever. When you're comparing Frank and Knox, like I said, one thing that could keep you in the game is defense.
Yeah.
You don't need to have great skill for it. You don't have to have been learning how to shoot since 5. You don't have to learn how to have been facilitating since the age of 7. When you play good defense and you frustrate your opponent, that in itself creates a better playing field for you, more equal playing field. Because I may not be scoring, but you ain't scoring.
Exactly.
And I keep harassing you. And you might be, if I'm Kevin Knox, I'll look at it like this. Tyler Hero, I don't know who's the best scorer in the team. It might be Butler. It's probably Butler, right? But assume he has, it's Butler, right? Thank you, Mark. Assume he has
Butler.
Tyler Hero. He's guarding Tyler Hero. I'm just saying, it might not be the match, whatever. If you frustrate a guy like Tyler Hero and you have, say, 5 points and the game is tied and it's 20 seconds left, you're up by 1, and you gotta guard Tyler Hero and he's over dribbling because maybe he has the ball now. And I've seen this. Go back and watch how the Heat play the Sixers. You can frustrate the Sixers. They can make a lot of mistakes in crunch time situation. Butler calmed down the game, they won. That's a team, they still got young players. If Knox could shut down a guy like Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, one of these, that gives you confidence, bro. So even when you're out there now, because Knox is also missing open threes. This is the same Knox that came in, even since last year, he was able to make open threes. He's missing them now. He needs to build himself back up with defense. It starts from within. It's the grit and grind. It's the diving on top of balls and getting them. It's the, hey, I'm shutting down my guy. I'm not letting my guy, because you see Knox. Guys could beat Knox to his right. I don't know about his left yet, but I'm pretty sure he probably beats his left too. He's lost. So Mike Miller, I'll break down his hips, the way his stance, defensive stance. I'll ask him, what do you think about, hey, we're in the zone right now. Where's your man? What do you feel? Communication. It can't just be Taj Gibson. When I play my bum ass intramural games, especially when I play with my cousin, we're screaming at each other to the point people think that we hate each other. But it's like, oh, someone's behind me. It's to annoy you to the point that it's so annoying, but I'm alert. You're the eyes behind my back. So it can't just be Taj in it. It has to be everybody. But again, I want these young guys to grow. People say I hate Knox. I just wish he could go to a lesser league to kind of get his confidence back. But to me, if he's going to stay up here, do it on defense. Defense could give you confidence. Trust that, man. Trust.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Knicks in Miami, though, man. Sunday. We play Sunday.
Sim got scared. Yo, Mark, you heard Sim. Oh, you still got me on Sim?
Yeah, still on there.
I'm sorry, Chad. This is the first time I've seen Sim in person. This guy, you could try to rob Sim at gunpoint. He's gonna be, all right, MBK, he's not gonna, his emotions don't change. But for the fact that this dude said, for the Heat, Sim, why do you do this to yourself? Why do you still expect the Knicks to have
I want them to be competitive. They're on a 5-game slide. They're on a 5-game skid. Confidence is important in this game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? We need to, now if they can come out and play a good game, cool. But we need them, especially if they don't have Marcus Morris and Julius Randle. I wanted them to play someone a little bit softer next, since they're on a 5-game skid, so they can come out, have a good competitive game, start to rebuild that confidence. You know what I'm saying? Try to, but we'll see. Maybe they're going to be at home. Maybe they'll be able to come out and play well against Miami. I don't know what Miami is doing right now. They're 27-11. I don't know what kind of streak they're on or not on. I'm about to check it right now, see what they're doing.
Mark just said they lost to Brooklyn.
They lost to Brooklyn tonight?
Yeah, that's what Mark just said. by 4.
Okay. All
And
right.
by the way, I think a coworker of mine was there because he texted me, or texted a bunch of us, and he said that about the Nets Heat game because he said Brooklyn is such trash. They're playing Miami in a damn good game, and it's a library out there. So all the people, if y'all any closet Nets fans out there that's watching the show, no one cares about the Nets. Brandon Tierney, when he got into his little argument with KD, said the Nets could win 7 games in a row. No one cares. Lose 7
right.
games in a row. No one cares. And KD got on. You know the funniest thing is, Sim?
Yeah, I seen all that.
KD has been mentioned more about his comments with the Knicks or comments of the Knicks than he has been about Brooklyn.
Right.
So
I
all these
know,
people
man.
like, look, we still run New York. We just need a win, but don't worry about it. Nets will never be relevant. And with the way that what Brooklyn now represents, all that gentrification and corniness and hipsterism, Brooklyn will never represent New York again. Just so we're good. We just need a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I seen who is it? Someone just asked, should we just play all the kids versus Miami? I mean, first of all, there's no way to just play all the kids because how many of them do you have? Frank, RJ, Knox, Mitch, Trier. That's it, right?
They really don't play Sim. What you know? Any okay? Let me because
I
I know
have
you
no
have
idea.
your. It's
I have
something
no
with
clue.
Trier because
I have
I know
no
he's in a
clue.
dollhouse, Mark,
No
but it
clue.
doesn't make any sense that Trier's not. And the thing about it is that, and it's a little things, right? So I've seen Trier play a lot better in terms of the system that they want, right? The pushing the ball, not hogging it. You know, and it might be the attitude thing, but I just he had to have cursed somebody out or so because I really don't want it to be some Mills type of thing where I don't even want to think about that, but it doesn't make sense that Trier's not getting any burn, and yet he's one of the guys who, given where we are right now, we're not winning games, whatever. I would actually try to see Trier's value. Like Ellington should not be getting minutes over Trier. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel you. Let me get to white chocolate real quick, man. Because I'm about to get up out of here. You got any takes on the Knicks in Miami next game?
Besides the fact that we're gonna get smacked, nothing really. I mean, I think looking at the next 5 games, we play the Heat, the Bucks, the Suns, the 76ers, and the Cavs. If we can get out of that next 5 games 2-3, I'll be happy. Granted, the 2-3 being we beat the Suns and we beat the Cavs, because there's no way we're gonna beat the other 3 teams. Not the way we're playing, not the way that some of our players are not, not healthy enough to play. I do think Trier should be playing more. I don't know why. If we're not gonna keep him, because that's the way it's looking, we should at least have him, rise up his trade value before the deadline, and we trade him. I Same thing for Knox. Like, he needs to go to the G League and regain his confidence. I wish the NBA could have like this agreement with the Euro League where teams could loan players like they do in soccer or whatever. I think that would be like really cool. I think that would be like a really cool way for like players to play with grown men and develop while they play overseas in Europe or whatever. But I don't think like they'll never do that. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a hard knock life to be a Knicks fan.
it
So.
is. It is. I feel you, man. Hey, man, thanks for being here, man. I'm about to get the mark, then I'm getting out of here.
All right, bro. I'll
All right,
talk to you
man.
later.
Peace. Mark.
Yo, listen, man. Like I said, I like the spacing. I like the ball movement. Continue that. I'm cool with it. But again, I'm soured out. You already know why, because the Knicks gonna do something stupid, and you said it, Sim. They're gonna do something stupid.
They're doing.
So as long as you know how I
they're
feel,
making a move. We know
Huh?
the Knicks are gonna make a move. As much as
Yeah,
I want them to not do anything, they're gonna
but
make a
I
move.
don't
We know that.
know. The thing is like we're in the unknown. So I'm thinking more they're gonna make a stupid move than a good move. So until if they do a move and it's to my liking, then I say, okay, you did so. I'm not scared. But if they do the stupid move, Sam, do me a favor, bro. Have a cemetery with my name on it, bro, because I will be done with this. Yo, Sim, you don't understand. I haven't watched no Knicks games, bro. And why I came on tonight, because I just wanted to express myself about the Andre Drummond sighting, and it scares me. And I told y'all weeks before why I'm acting like this, or why I'm just like so down. Like, and I wanna, even when the Knicks win, I just don't feel right. I'm looking at them right now, and I cringe. I don't have no type of happiness. It's like I'm looking at every play. I'm even looking at Mitch, and I'm saying to myself, I don't even like you. I don't even know what this team is anymore. I don't know anything. I've never been this lost in my life. I've never been this lost in my life when I heard Andre Drummond tonight. And the way how it sounds like it is predominant that it might happen, bro. Oh, yo, listen, man. Y'all bury me in my grave, please.
So what I'm reading is this.
I'm a free agent, man, if they do that. I swear to God.
I'm reading that the talks went, they didn't go far.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Pistons apparently are asking for 1 or 2 first-round draft picks along with expiring contracts. Right? And so the talk, so feel confident that the talks did not go far.
Cool, but still,
because the Knicks aren't really willing to give that up. So
listen, until the night trade deadline is ending, and we make if we don't make that move, then I'll be okay. Now I feel a little better. But as of right now, I am on suicide watch. Call it Mark suicide watch right now. So y'all don't hear from me or see from me. Just know that I'm okay. I'm just pacing myself until they do something stupid. They do something stupid, I'm out. I'm coming on here crazy, bro. I'm coming on here crazy, son.
Well, I'm about to get up out of here, Mark.
Well, holla back, man. Good
Appreciate
show,
you, man.
Yo, everybody pray for me. Pray that the Knicks don't do that move for Drummond. Just pray, man. Pray they go the other way. Just listen, y'all. Listen to Sim. Let's not do anything unless it's a good piece, and we didn't give up more than they give us. So, good night, Sim. Good night, chat.
Yep.
So
Mark.
all good.
All right, man. Peace to you, man.
Suicide watch.
Oh, Mark, crazy, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys for being here with me. Remember, you can get those Knicks Nets tickets. All right, I'm putting a link right here in the chat so you can get those Knicks Nets tickets. It's only 16 tickets available, so make sure you get them now. All right, make sure you get those tickets right now before they're gone. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for being here with me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys. Well, I'll probably do a pregame sometime tomorrow, and then I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.
That's the G.